Good evening, welcome. All the people in chat talking to themselves. Unipixel, Revenant, Nico, if you're still here. I'm not sure who's all here, but welcome anyway. Happy Marchantage. No adult beverage tonight, sadly, but Mac stuff and things. It's always fun when you go into, Mike Boy, when you go into things you don't know as much about, because, like, I have some exposure to Macs of this era, but certainly not to compare to a lot of people that are really into it. So, nah, I'm just gonna let you suffer in silence there instead. But yeah, I'm not sure how much you guys. I was about to say you people, and I was like, what do you mean you people? But yeah, it's Big Mac. So to give the like my exposure to Macintosh from this era, like we never had one growing up. I know a lot of people did. I did not have exposure to that, and my cousins, my uncle then had and still has the same machine, a Mac SE and SE30 or SE. I don't know, but one of the ones with the very square design. And we used to play games on that. So that's my exposure on it when I was there visiting. We basically play some that Swedish game we played before, which we'll play again tonight. Double Moral. We got to play that, of course. I got to go drinking. And that's about it. We had just a couple of games on there. I want to say like we usually used to play painted in Mac Paint, and that was it, right? Because we were just like, oh, come use the computer, sure. And we painted Mac Paint and played that Double Moral game, and that was it. So, but I know there's a lot of households that were very into Apple. I had friends who, like, that's all they had were Apple machines. They went from Amiga or Commodore machines to Apple. And they had all the Macintoshes of varying degrees, especially later on as the iMacs came out and everything. So, um, it is funny. Just like it's always about drawing a line in the sand, right? And I took part of it too because my friend then who was into the iMac, he was like, talking about how, of course, the Commodore were the best game machines ever. The Amiga was the best computer ever made in Nico. And then that morphed into the Mac was the best machine ever made. And he would so specifically defend the one button mouse. And I will say there's strengths and negatives on each platform. They're all valid. But the mouse was kind of, two buttons are better than one. I will just say that from my personal preference and use. And he was really insistent that it was a superior design. The puck mouse he thought was superior because that's what he had. And I'm like, I will give you a lot, but you're like wrong. The puck mouse is awful and it hurts to use. And he's like, no, it's great. And I think he was trying to convince himself. Anyway, you can tell I was a PC user. Still, the Mac era from the black and white Mac era, I think it's still really fascinating. Yeah, it's true. And we are using, of course, the original squared off tank mouse, which is attractive in design, I will say, right? And for those not familiar, then we are playing tonight on a real Mac IIci, which basically the CI is almost a top dog in the black and white range, if that makes sense. I mean, again, I'm going to be butchering this or saying the wrong thing. I don't have all my model straight, but the Mac IIci, which we can look here what it looks like, and this is what we're playing on tonight. It basically is a squared off nice beige box, right? And it has a faster processor than I think all of the all-in-one Macs that you're used to. Eating Paul Jean, welcome. And I think it's a very, very cool design. I mean, of course, I'm a big fan of the square, like 80/90 stuff, right? And it was intended, I think, this machine came from a university where it was kind of the control computer for a lab, which makes sense. I think a lot of time you would have like a lab or setup with a lot of the standard Macs, and then you would have one of these IIcis, for example, as kind of the control machine, or like the publisher machine or something like that that was more powerful because it has a faster processor, more expansion capabilities, more memory, things like that. And so this is a 25 megahertz 68030, I think. So that's where the 68K thing comes from, right? And it is faster than, I think, pretty much all the standard black and white all-in-one Macs that you know and love, if you will. And the cool thing with this one, then, is that you're watching here, you'll see, is that it has a video out, which the normal Macs do not from this era. It has a built-in video card, and that lets me capture this as cleanly as we can. Converting it to VGA to make it work here. My data path capture card did not like this signal natively, sadly, but there are plenty of converters. So what you're seeing here, there we go, there you go. This is the actual desktop of this Mac IIci. And it's a neat machine. And if you want to experience all the black and white Mac games, this is a great option. However, they do fetch a bit of a premium, I think, because not necessarily the top dog, but they were sought after because they're pretty expandable. And again, I love that design. It's a Far Cry 2. You open it up now, and it is so easy to get into. 2 snaps, and the whole case opens up. There's just a couple screws. You can take the entire thing apart in a couple of minutes. That's a little bit of a far cry from current Apple, but there was a while there where they were really pushing that, like, serviceability and upgradability and replaceability and all the kind of weird words. And it's sad they went away from that, because, I mean, I do love the Mac G4 towers that are just opening on the side. Maybe my favorite era, but this is pretty sweet, too. And the fact you can just service this yourself very easily is pretty awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is basically, so the Mac by this era outputs in general 64 by 480. And what I'm doing here, I'm using, you may have seen them, they're like little dongles or adapters that go from the DB25, no, it's not 1025, it's whatever the Mac one is, to VGA, but then it has little switches on it to decide the refresh mode. And in this case here, we're then capturing a 640 by 480 at like 67 hertz or so. And it is upscaled 3 on integer, and then it's squeezed into the window in OBS. So it's about as sharp as you can get from a machine of this era. So pretty pleased with that for a $15 adapter. So yeah, the G4 Cube is really cool. I've heard it's kind of a pain to work with, but it does look like, you know, the coolest one of the era. So I'm still partial to G4 towers, the gray one, and then also the Mirador ones, which I do have. Probably the gray one, the AGP or the Sawtooth ones are my favorite probably. But we're now in the 68K era of Macs, which means we have black and white Mac games. And I'm not sure if anyone saw on Twitter and or my short I posted on it, but the cool thing with the Macs is that you can basically plug in a SCSI drive on the SCSI port on the back, and from the perspective of the computer, it acts exactly like a normal computer or hard drive in the chain. So in this case here, I actually have a blue SCSI external hard drive emulator attached here with this Mac IIci pack or Mac pack hard drive image on here, which has virtually like every Mac game ever made and a whole bunch of software and stuff. So we have options. I did copy most of them to that we're going to play tonight to the actual internal hard drive. The mouse makes a weird squeaky sound sometimes, so don't worry about that. But we have a bunch of my games installed. I did drop a Kid Picks here. I know, Polygene, you were talking about that one, because that's one that a lot of kids had experience with, and I tried it a little bit, and it's awesome. So this machine came from a university lab, so it has a bit of software on here, network card, that kind of stuff. The Sunflower, you may have to remind me now, because I'm pretty bad on my Mac terminology, because I do have the... it is the AGP, like, I want to call it, not the, so I have the AGP one, the gray G4 tower, and I also have the Mirador, or the MDD, with the, it has a dual 1 gigahertz processor in there, so more to come on that one eventually. But I did have a G3, yes, you're correct, yes, the G4 iMac. That one I picked up pretty recently as well. We will stream with that one at some point too, but it is, you know, not a gaming machine. I think it has an equivalent of a GeForce 4 MX, so there's some options, but you can't really push contemporary games to the limit. So you pretty much got to go further back on that one. And that one is a big no-no on the upgrade. You're not doing any upgrades on that one except memory and hard drive. And that's pretty much the limit of that. So yeah, I have that as well. I'm trying to think what other Macs I have. I do have a 6100/80 AV, which is kind of like a middle pack Power Mac. And then also then we did stream on the Quadra 610, right? I think a few months ago, where we had Peter Wagner, the composer for Tetris Max, show up, which was a really fun time for me. Yes, that, and we'll give Apple's industrial design and their mechanics and everything in their computers they really are top notch. When you look though at this era here, some of these machines don't hold up well. There's cap problems. Now, a lot of retro computers have to be recapped, but I've had to do almost nothing of that, virtually nothing of that to my retro PCs. They all just run. Now, capacitor plague of the early 2000s, that's maybe a different story, but all my retro machines from late 80s, mid 90s, late 90s, not a problem at all. This machine I had to recap, and this was the first thing I ever recapped. So I took the battery out of this one. I don't know that I have done it on the Sunflower yet. I'll get to it. Yeah, when it comes to the favorite Mac, I'm partial more to the AGP era of where the equivalent now. I'm starting to get a soft spot for this machine because it is a really cool package here, but I realize I'm just small talking to the with the big screen I'm talking now. But as far as favorite ones, I think still that gray G4 for me or that era. Yeah, I would say probably one of the G4 towers because you have the equivalent of playing all these cool games from PC, right, with accelerated graphics and all that kind of stuff. And it would be awesome to experience some of the those clones, which those seem to fetch a premium anymore now. There's a time when some of the best Macs were clones. But I'm not taking the battery out of that Sunflower yet. I will get to it. And I know that's a common thing with these Macs, and they need a lot of TLC to survive. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I like accelerated graphics and the fact that you can play. I mean, I'm a Windows 95, Windows 98 kind of era. That's still my favorite time period, right? And the G4 tower from that era with AGP graphics and all that good stuff. It's a pretty nice era for even for Macintosh. They were into gaming at that point. You can have lots of 3D accelerated games and it's still compatible with a lot of older Mac OS, 9 and 8 games and stuff like that. So I like that bridge period, the same 98 era where we have the DOS to Windows 98, right? So, all right. I've been blabbering on for a while now. Maybe we should play some games. That's what we're here for, right? And something that you kind of don't realize is that Macs have a boatload of games, tons and tons of games for, and I think there's like thousands of games almost for this era of Mac. Now, this is basically an external hard drive then that's attached to the SCSI bus on the outside, and it's a blue SCSI hard drive emulator. You basically drop a image file, and this particular image file, let's say Mac Pack, someone composed that or put that together for the Mister, and this actually works great in a real Mac, which is pretty awesome. So you basically have a hard drive image file, and you drop it on the SD card, and then bam, it's readable by the real machine with a little tweak. And this actually works on my vintage all-in-one Mac too, the SE30. Eating Super, welcome. You plug it on the back SCSI bus, and you can boot from that just straight up. There's no hard drive in that machine, so you have to use a floppy to boot it, or you plug in that external dongle, and boom, you have a full hard drive with all the games on it. So it's pretty darn convenient. So the blue SCSI is pretty awesome. And this then came with basically games from almost every year here, kind of bundle up, and I did copy a whole bunch over. Yes, it does, and we can switch to that. So if we go to control panels, we can switch to the color mode. This particular machine now, and here's where it gets fuzzy for me. You can see the specs here. I've listed integrated video and integrated audio because the audio is like Mac. It's the audio. You get what you get. The video is onboard video, and from what I understand, so it basically steals some memory from the RAM to run it. It's like it does not have dedicated VRAM. I could be wrong on that one. If you install a secondary or a video card, you basically have more memory available, but you may have slower performance because it's not as fast as having the onboard video. So I could be wrong there, but Ian and Eric, welcome. Eric is a big-time Mac aficionado, so you can correct me for anything I'm saying that's incorrect here. But yes, we can actually select colors because the integrated video on here does support full color. However, so we have full color now. Look at that glorious color here. Unfortunately, a lot of the black and white games that I tested basically say like, hey, whoa, you can't run in color mode. The amount of games that support color on here is pretty low. And you basically have to get specific versions, the color mode versions. There's a Lemmings in color. I don't have that version installed here, and I didn't have time to fix that. So I made this more stream-like. We're going to stream as a generic Mac 68K games as opposed to the color explicit games. But there is a handful of games, to my knowledge, that support color in on this platform, on this OS. And this is Mac OS 7.01, which is not the newest that this supports. However, this is what was installed on it, and I didn't want to reload it before the stream. So it is better to stick to gray and the black and white to basically make it more compatible in all these games. And maybe, Eric, you can tell me, too, can you run some of these games in, like, 16 grayscale mode? Will it support that, some of these games? Because it does look pretty neat when you do that. We can try it and see which games support it. Otherwise, I might assume that we may have to run this in the black and white. So We can start with Lemmings, for example. Oh, look at that. There's a graphics Lemmings. Let's try that then. Actually, let's start black and white Lemmings. There's a Lemmings and there's a graphics. I wonder if this actually detects that or not. I don't think so. I tried it in color, I think, but... So yeah, this is obviously black and white. Is 1 bit black and white? It's just 1 bit, right? And there's Lemmings in glorious black and white with no additional colors. So let's see if we switch the... I don't think there's anything in the settings here to change. If we switch the machine to use color... let's go to control panels again. It's all I do. But yeah, I look to play the games. So I was 16 colors here, graphical mode. Let's go back to Lemmings now and see if it detects it automatically, or maybe there's a graphics one specifically there. We can launch it. I'm not sure if that's going to work. It did not do any detection of it. I think there's a separate one. There's a graphics. Lemmings document. Will that launch Lemmings in video mode? No. So, yeah, I think you have to get the explicit version that supports color. Some of these games that will basically alert or warn, say, hey, this game won't run in desktop color mode. Similar like in some games in Windows, right? If you try and launch it at higher than 256 colors, it will error out, whatever. So, but please send your Lemmings access code. I don't think I had to do that last time I played. A jip. All right, I'll go back and make sure there's nothing there because I tried this before. So go to gray, some black and white. The raw performance mode. So, yeah, I think you're right there, Pixel. I watched that not too long ago as well when I was ready to prepare this machine, or when I recapped it. And again, this was my first recap project ever, and it was successful. And I was quite tickled that it didn't blow anything up. There you go. Now it just launched. So whatever. It's Lemmings, all right. I'm a little fascinated since I am, of course, very interested in sound chips and everything. And it is a little interesting to me that the Mac just like, you have the sound. And I mean, I'm so used to coming from the Windows side where you have a command interface and then Windows running, on top of it, more or less. And you go to the Mac and it's all GUI. It's like, it's weird to me. There's no command line, there's no under the hood, there's nothing. Like, this is what you have. So it's 64x480 for everything because that's the Mac resolution. So it's Lemmings, and it's the same Lemmings, right? And the fact that the Mac sound system is just what you have. It's just what's integrated. There's no, like, variance there, right? I assume you can install additional sound cards and a whole bunch of weird adapters, but why would you, I guess? Unless you're doing sound production, right? And that's also weird to me coming from the Windows side as you're trying to tweak or mess with it. There isn't... I mean, yes, there's plenty you can do and mess with, but at the same time, you can't, right? So it's something you just got to get used to when you're playing on the Mac and you're right. It just works. Like, you start a game, in the same way that, a console, it's a known target. You develop the game for a Mac in this period, that was it. That was the sound system that people had. They knew that they would support 64x480, and they knew they would have the sound integrated. Versus PC, it is a huge range of stuff, right? So, yeah, that's true. Once you get used to that, because I mean, my first real computer was that compact processor all-in-one, quite Revenant, and it came with whatever Sound Blaster 16, sound-alike thing that sounded horrible, but I didn't know any better. I thought that was what it was supposed to sound like, right? So, let's go. But it sounds good. I mean, and this is, of course, a direct capture from the machine, so... make sure they don't die. Being a very GUI-driven operating system in general, your sound card works perfectly. Sound card initialized. It feels like it almost runs a little fast, like it's not adaptive for this processor speed, because this game probably was intended mostly to be played on the quote-unquote standard Macs, right? So... You sure did. Too late now. I know we played these before too, and I know there's a better way to do this blocking here. Because if you do this one here, but it has like a weird, like, I don't want to say Amiga quality, but almost like a little bit. Sorry, blockers, you're gonna be SOL here. Yeah, they have, and I think it's actually quite cool aesthetic. I know that there's a game called Return to Obra Dinn. I haven't played it, but it tries that one-bit dithered pattern thing, and I think above all, it's such a crisp look to it. It's very unique, so... that's true, yeah. You think about it the way, Sucre, is like, yeah, a lot of the machines back then, early on, especially for business purposes, had nothing like that. So when my uncle had done the Mac IIci for his business, or he was an accountant, and, you know, it just worked. You could play games on it. Then eventually they got a 486 with the sound card built in, but a lot of machines, of course, for business use had no sound card. When we were going to buy one of my first computers, we actually, because the first machine I had was like an XT clone or something like that my dad used for business that I got as a hand-me-down. After that, we decided, like, okay, we're going to get a real computer for you, and I'm like, awesome. And we were trying to order it from a Swedish retailer, and they basically had, like, option 1, which was the game machine, which was just a basic 486 at the time. It was probably like 25 megahertz, whatever. It came with a sound card, but I wanted a CD-ROM drive because I know the multimedia thing was happening. It was the happening thing, right? That's what was the style at the time. And the second option they had was the business machine, which had a CD-ROM drive in it. And I saw there was a blank plate on the, you know, first option, the play machine. So what I wanted to ask, like, we asked them, I sat with my dad and we called them to order the computer. And we asked, like, can we put the CD-ROM drive from the business machine in the basic machine? Because we didn't need all the extra effects, or not the effects, sorry, I said, hi, Doppler effect. I read your name and said it. We didn't need all the extra stuff, and I mean, I waited, living in Sweden at that era, anything you ordered was weeks and weeks before it arrived. Any game you ordered, Super Metroid, we got that, and I waited for like a month and a half before it arrived. It took that long to ship stuff out there. And that computer, I remember coming home from school almost every day for weeks and weeks, asking, like, is it here yet? And they're like, sorry, no. Eventually, I sat with my dad, and we called back, and they said, like, yeah, we're having some trouble getting that drive to install into that computer. I'm like, you could have let us know. So I think we ended up basically eventually canceling that order, with me extremely disappointed having waited months for this. And then I think for Christmas that year, we ended up going to a big box retailer, kind of like Best Buy, and that's when we bought that compact Procera all-in-one, and that was my computer for a long time. But that would have been the first thing, but just that whole multimedia gap, where what probably happened was that that machine almost, either they were incompetent, or it didn't have any extra, you know, cables inside, not enough drive controllers or anything like that. And they couldn't figure it out. And it took them weeks to even figure out that they couldn't figure it out. And poor me was sad and disappointed as a kid, but oh well. Oh wow, quite a gap there then, Eric. And I know you you're kind of like an all-in, you do all a bunch of stuff, but I see you focusing a lot more on Macs now, but all the lemmings sort of survived. It's funny because this has been like, you know, it feels like it runs fast to me. Doesn't it? It sounds good, doesn't it? I think it does. That is true. Incompetence is always... Okay, it just feels like it's a little speedy or something, but maybe it's just my reaction time as I'm getting older, but I'm used to playing slower, I guess. You can probably... It's got a great sound, mostly sound palette, soundscape. I don't know how to describe it, but my Naboo has shipped. It will be here, I believe, within the week or two. I am surprised at that dude, how fast he can ship out as many as he's selling. So yes, I did buy a Naboo. I got in on it because I didn't want to... My FOMO kicked in big time, realizing that if I don't buy it now, in a year and a half when they're sold out and there's no more left, I'm going to feel like kicking myself, right? And it's not that expensive, really, in the scheme of retro computers, especially new in box. So yes, my Naboo is shipped. I did buy the adapter you linked there, Pixel. And that's back ordered, but the guy is making more, I think, so I'm not in a hurry. I can wait for that to arrive. I know you can make your own, but I'm just not going to even try for this one. And I've been watching Sean's videos on the Naboo and the Naboo network, so I'm excited to just mess with it. So we will stream with that machine eventually, once I get it. Yeah, that's a kicker. It's like, it's being covered a lot now, and I'm trying to just, above all, get content out. My next video should be out in the next few days. I am working hard to just get it out. I'm actually leaving town next week, and for a few days. So I want to get it up before that. It's going to come out this month yet. And I always wonder when I cover stuff for videos. Like, I like doing videos of things I like or enjoy. And I would love to, yeah, try and read this, what you see here, because it is hard to read with all this stuff here. But the code is pretty bad. Even worse is the access codes on the Super Nintendo, and you gotta like tap all that crap in on the key on the pad. It's horrible. Although I have many memories of playing Super Nintendo Lemmings, or my brother did. But as far as covering and what you do for videos, there are a billion different coverage videos now on the Naboo, right? So the question is, like, are people want to see that? Am I going to be repeating myself? Should I just do it from my own experiences? A more raw live experience video where I just set it up and show it off a little bit, do some capture, you know, what you can do with it today. Does anyone care about that? Because there's a lot of videos like that already, and I feel like I'm repeating myself beyond what's already been said, right? So, yeah, the question is, I'm not sure, but yeah, we will stream with it for sure. The Naboo, I definitely want to stream it. Now, I am obsessed with video capture, as many of you know already now. This is captured as crisp as I possibly can, so the fact that the Naboo is composite only irks me a little bit. That makes it challenging, and we may have to, you know, I do have capacity for capturing composite, but getting it clean is going to be difficult. And I think you may have to rely on like a scaler or something like a RetroTink to do it, which has a cone filter, which handles composite really well. That may be the only way to get a clean signal from a Naboo for capture. Because the harsh truth is that once you plug in something like that and you capture it, on a digital screen, it doesn't look great. And that's just the drawback of the analog signals, right? So I don't know if anyone's even looked at yet just a way to intercept and get a digital signal off Naboo. Because somewhere in there, there's got to be a converter, right, that takes the digital video signal and converts it to analog. You're wrong, Eric. Chase the algorithm. Only do what's popular. This is now 100% prank channel. No, sorry. You're right. If I don't enjoy it, then what's the point, right? So yeah, I might do a video on it then. I don't know why the mouse squeaks really bad. There might be a real mouse in here. But yeah, I might do a coverage video on the Naboo, at least do like a more fun style video as opposed to just like a hardcore, like here's everything that it can do. I had thought about creating an OnlyFans and then just doing a whole bunch of fans because it's dad joke level, right? But so yeah, I'm looking forward to Naboo whenever it arrives and all the testing with it, messing with it, so it should be a lot of fun. Interesting, yeah. And it's interesting to me, and I feel like Pixel, you're kind of in the same boat there, where a lot of the stuff is stuff that I never experienced as a kid. I wasn't much into the 8-bit era because it's a little before my time, besides the NES. And then Commodore 64 is pretty much like Commodore 128. Actually, my brother had. You can see behind me there. I'm not sure if you saw that, but part of a big lot a while back, I got a Commodore 128C here in box. And there it is. And that's exactly the box my brother had. He convinced my dad that we needed a 128C for studies and for his business. And my dad used it like one time and then said, fine, you can have it for video gaming. And that's what he did. So that's really my only exposure to 8-bit in general, because then my neighbor got a Amiga and 500, and then that's where my computer interest took off after that. So exactly. it makes it just challenging to know what the things are versus someone who is really into it from nostalgia's sake. So if you're really focused on that platform. So to know what is in the Naboo, it's like it's a learning experience to figure out what's in there. And I would assume, since we now basically had no Naboo, and now we have all the Naboo, and everyone is getting a Naboo. Everyone's doing it. All the cool kids, at least, I guess. But, so that means that there's now a flurry of homebrew development and accessories and stuff. So I assume sooner or later someone's going to figure out how to, or take the time, I guess, to do digital capture from it and stuff like that, because that would be pretty neat. Because, I mean, maybe I'm generalizing. I would assume anytime you have a computer that's outputting an analog signal, somewhere there's a digital to analog conversion happening, right? There's no, like, computer that natively outputs analog signal. Like, you would always have some kind of a transcoder or some kind of, like, a converter, because by design, a computer outputs digital signal, right? Which is with a lot of the Amigas and stuff like that, or have a RGB signal out. It is a digital RGB signal. So, or I guess in that case, it's analog. I'm muddling the waters now, but anyway. All right, I think we're done with Lemmings now. It is Lemmings. It is exactly Lemmings, so. It's just sometimes, I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. It's just one part of the wheel. Now, I am taking this apart to, like, clean it out and lubricate it, and I'll have to do that at some point. Let's play something a little faster. I am a little curious how Prince of Persia runs on here. It should run just dandy, not tandy. Especially with that, like, delicious... I don't know, there's something cool with that 1-bit graphic, the dithering, and I'm glad, like, Pixely mentioned some games are trying to mimic it, and it's just so crisp. The sound, it really has, like, doesn't it? Like, a kind of like an Amiga-ish style to it. I don't know, anyone who's a Mac aficionado, what the actual Mac sound chip is on here, because I tried to look it up beforehand, and I couldn't find anything conclusive, and that might be just my ignorance in searching for it. Like, what's actually producing the audio? Hey, Ron, welcome. Maybe, Ron, you can answer that. You're a Mac guy, right? So, we're discussing the sound chip on the Mac here. Like, it's kind of obfuscated in the sense that this is the sound chip that's on the Mac, and this is what you get. You're done, right? Don't worry about it, right? It just works. What is the actual sound components that are producing the audio? Because, like, it's just an amplifier. Okay, so it's all, like, software generated then? Like, because, like, I think from a PC perspective, right, you usually have a Crystal chip, or you have a Sound Blaster chip, or you have a Yamaha YM whatever chip, or something that generates the audio. Interesting. So then, if your CPU is overtaxed, then your audio goes bye-bye, or really fascinating, so... That's true. So, okay, so that was the general solution, and to generalize it extremely, do it in software through CPU means instead of custom chips, right? Like, for example, Commodore, who did everything custom chips for a while there, and then PC using a lot of off-the-shelf parts, so... Fascinating. Well, TIL. So that's what I was trying to figure out, like, what is it actually done, so... Far. Because I think it sounds great. I mean, to me, if it's all sampled, they must have sampled it from something like, I mean, a Commodore-ish style, because it has a very, eating banana, it has a very, like, Amiga 500 style music to me, almost like somewhere in between there, like Amiga/PC, but it has its unique sound to me. Let's see how you play this. Okay, let's jump. Let's jump like that. What's the teppity tip? Yep, there we go. Whee! We have played Prince of Persia many times on this channel, and many times I have died in Prince of Persia. I'm not sure if we played it more or I died more. Probably the latter. But, Yeah, I think to me, something that's really unique with the Macs from this era is like, again, educate me. Is there anything else that had this kind of dithered 1-bit graphical? Because even look into like even older game console stuff like that, you know, they often had color modes, but it's not as crisp. Like the crispness you get from the Mac from this era with the black and white mode is just something very unique. So, um, fascinating. Okay, well, TIL definitely on the sound system. Uh, Ron, I'm not sure if you joined when we were streaming Monkey Island on the Quadra. Perhaps you'd like to explain that one. I could not contain my laughter because there were 3 different audio modes you could select from. And I assume that has to do with then it just was basically downsampling or doing something so poorly. But on the best mode, it sounded like Prince of Persia, or Monkey Island. But on the lowest mode, it sounded just horrendous. I assume that what's happening is that the software emulation or the instruction set to play those sound clips was just not good enough or horrible. I mean, I don't want what cost it, but it was absolutely hysterical. And it was one of the funniest things I ever heard. So, and I have heard Monkey Island on the Tandy. So, all right, let's see if I can do this here now. Run, 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 and jump. Ooh, what a game. I mean, I love. Oh yeah, I'll say, you better back up your fighting words over there. Monkey Island, of course, being just a fantastic sound, but on the right sound chip, Monkey Island, and of course on MT32, things like that, it sounds just amazing. But I don't know, there's something with the crispness of the Mac that I feel is very, very unique for the era. I can't think of anything else that had kind of the same style, and I missed out on a lot of it, although I had some experience just with my uncle's Mac IIci, but I didn't know anyone else besides my cousins that had a Mac at all. It was all Amigas and Commodores in general. There we go. Let's see, can I... That's right, I can't drink this now because I don't need it. I might need it later. It's such an unforgiving game, but... Yeah, I saw that. You've been doing some pretty cool stuff with the MIDI stuff on Mac, and I think that's a pretty unexplored. At least I haven't seen it a lot with classic Macs using MIDI. I know you were using it on your Mac SC30, was it, or just a Mac SE, to play Space Quest and stuff like that on using MT32, and that's something that I certainly was not aware that the Mac could do, and I like to think that probably a lot of other people are not aware of it either. It's a neat thing to explore. You should do some more videos on it if you haven't already. I know you made some shorts on it, but... and then I crawl here. It's probably better if I go down one level here. It's, like anything, it's always fun when you find new stuff, and that's the thing that makes it hard for content creation in general. You're very rarely going to cover new ground, right? Or at least... I guess we're getting that with the Naboo right now, but it's interesting because no, that's stop doing the button. Stop doing what I'm telling you to do. Sword. Pick it up. Do I have to turn this way? There we go. Whoa! Flashing light warning, I guess. Ian Christopher, welcome. It's weird, the Super Nintendo version has a much deeper dungeon here to collect the sword, I believe. Can I make this here now? I cannot! And there we go. Great. And now I think it just spits you back in the beginning. Prince of Persia, everyone. We'll do one more try. That's right, thanks for the tip there, Ron. I think I was doing instinctively, but I do not know for sure. Each version of Prince of Persia has its own little control scheme, right? Well, not they all have a similar one, but they all have their own buttons, so... Yeah, I know a lot on this one for a while, but the spikes did find me. The weirdest thing with Prince of Persia is kind of the grid system that the character moves on. and knowing when to push the buttons and everything, so... That's right, the timer does keep getting... I will find you, and I will die in you. Yeah, the timer does keep running. It is a unforgiving, brutal game, and I should really watch like a full run of this game, because I certainly have never ever even gotten remotely close to beating it. That's not happening. That's beyond my skill set. Maybe with rewind and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's clearly a beatable game somehow, right? But Prince of Persia is pretty brutal. But it was, of course, you know, lauded for its amazing animation work, and that is really second to none, especially for this era. So. Oh, really? You got that far on the Super Nintendo? That's impressive. Most impressive. That flashing light warning again. A little bit too late. So, can I make this jump here now? Prince of Persia, everyone. Anyway, Prince of Persia is still good on any platform. Current level, time rating, start level. There we go. Yeah, Prince of Persia, everyone. It's still a good time, but it is so brutally hard. I mean, like I mentioned, I never got that far in it, and it's one of those, like, you would have to repeat. It's almost the first, like, I don't want to say roguelite, but it's like you die to start over, and the timer runs out, so it's... I think the biggest thing was just the rotoscoping, and the animation was just out of this world. Of course, Out of This World came later, but nothing else had been seen like it, at least from my understanding back then, so... That, I believe, yeah. It is not a super fast game. Let's play Tetris Max, because I love the music so much, and I don't think Peter Wagner's going to show up this time, but last time it was quite a treat for me, because the music in this is amazing. We talked about that one before. Here it is again. So it makes sense that it is basically sound samples, because it is virtually identical to music, but you can tell it is kind of clipping a little bit as it plays the other sound effects. Like, it can't generate both of them at the same time, I'm guessing. Like, the music almost stops when it is spitting out the thing. The music is just, it has no right to be this good. Also, newsflash, I am terrible at Tetris. I think I mentioned it when we played it last time, in that I had played this on my brother's, I don't know what he had, some Power Mac or something of some variety. Well, I'm not getting a good roll here. And could I get some non-square blocks, please? And I didn't know what it was called. I just played it because he had this Mac set up in my parents' place. He was home for the weekend, and we were just like, I was like getting to explore some Mac games, and on there was this Tetris Max one, but I didn't know what it was. And I was just like, oh, this is the coolest music ever. So then it took me a long time, but then eventually I found it a few years ago again, like realizing what it was. Like, you know, I Googled, like, you know, Tetris Mac awesome music, and everyone's like, oh, it's Tetris Max. And then having Wagner show up on stream was pretty amazing, so. That was close. Also, it moves when you have Tetris for reasons. Yeah, it is just... Oh, I'm gonna be having a hard time here now. Going all... Oh, look at that. Alright, we're gonna heal some off a little bit here now. I'm focusing on Tetris now. Yeah, it is just great music. Wagner did a remix of his own music, actually. It's on YouTube, and that is a great remix. It's just this one, except amped up, but I think it was one of those things that, if I remember right, he had composed this. I think it was a mod tracker music first. It certainly has that vibe to it. And then they were looking for music to use in a Tetris game, and he had sent this in as a demo, I believe, and that was enough to make them use it. And thus the legend was born. I mean, it loops, but it is still amazing. So that moo is a pretty objectively amazing thing, too. But I think that, maybe Ron, you can, you know, I'm getting way too many square pieces here. That worries me a little bit. Oh my goodness. Alright, fine. Well, I'll check it out. If this is, like, I don't want to use the word best, but, like, if you were to get the fastest stock, like, classic Mac, is it a 2 CI, or is there another machine that is, like, faster from factory without an accelerated card? It feels like this is a really good one to have for, like, just kind of, like, best in case classic Mac. I could listen to this music, like, all day. It is so good. Two FX? Okay. There is another one better. I don't know if it's a budget series, but okay, so it is 10 megahertz or 15 megahertz faster. Then that makes sense. So that would make the FX being the one everyone wants. And I'm guessing, personally, I love the design of the 2CI. It is a very clean square box. I even put that in the spec right below my portrait. But that's why I had to. Oops. I, of course, messed up the sound thing, but I'll have to make a change on that one next time I stream on here. Now it's going a little fast here. That's Tetris. Alright. We will, oops. Paused. I want to hear the music. Where's the... So there's another one even more powerful than, to say the least. I know there were accelerated cards for this one as well. The high score there's from 1994. Mm-hmm. That's right. I remember the SI, seeing that one. As an interesting kind of bridge era before the newer Macs came out after that. But I'm enjoying it or liking it quite a bit as kind of like that. Really, from a perspective of the classic Mac era being a stronger one, and the expansibility is pretty awesome in this one. Just I was mentioning earlier how, like, hilariously easy it is to get into this machine and service it. At least the plastic seems to be holding up pretty well so far. I haven't heard any snaps or cracks on it. You know, we'll see what happens on that one. I know it's kind of like a concern with a lot of the Macs from that general era, but this one has held up just fine so far. It still feels malleable. There's no, like, brittle stuff going on. And it is just still working pretty well. Let's see. There's one game here I saw that I tried. We won't play this too long, but it intrigued me because it looks like I forgot what the game is called. But you have a little dirt bike, right? That you drive around and try and do tricks on. And I forget what it's called. On PC, we just played all the time. The two wheels, and you had, like, really weird physics where you had to, like, hang on with the wheels and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. I do have a Quadro 610. That's what I streamed on last time I streamed on a Mac. I do like that machine a lot. I'm hoping to fix it up. It definitely is a blue SCSI. The hard drive is not sounding good on that one. But I'd assume I have to recap that one now, too. Now that... going backwards. Now that I know how to do recapping, I will probably have to do it on that one too. But I would like to fix that up properly and use that as a good machine too. Because I don't need every Mac. I want, some, high points throughout this series in general, if you will. But I'm also a hoarder, so who knows what's going to happen. Yes, there is. Would you like to see one? Right now. Absolutely. Hopefully you have some good use out of it. And that's where it came in the sense that, yeah, it's cool for me, but I wouldn't get the same enjoyment from it from someone who really loves these things and also will sit on my shelf forever. So hopefully you're getting some use out of it. I know the plastic was so-so. But the cool thing now is we're getting a lot of 3D printed things that you can pop in, right? Which is pretty awesome that we have that option now to 3D print cases and, well, not cases, but covers and stuff like that. I figured that's probably a pretty beefy machine on that Power Mac range. Let's see, what is it called? Which one was it? It was Crazy Cars. If you want some pseudo 3D, we got it for you here. And look at here. Now we can pick how much money did you spend on your computer game. And you can see here, it shows really the differences between the 8 megahertz or the 6800 that's in the basic ones. Ooh, Spectre. Should we do that? Well, I'll show this first. I don't think I'll play this game very long because it's not very interesting, but we will go to Spectre. What I did here is for the people that joined later here, I can't do it right now. So I have the blue SCSI connected on the external SCSI bus, and I dropped a Mr. Hard drive image on there, and it has basically almost every game, not everything, but a lot of the classic Mac OS games on here, and it's kind of, I copied them to the internal hard drive, but we can still grab more games from that pack if I need to. So, thanks for catching up. Welcome, Bluebeard. And that's the thing too. It was like, anytime you want to mess with this kind of stuff, there's so many good emulators now. Like I know the Basilisk 2 emulator, right, is really good for running classic Macs, and we have so many options anymore on how to play classic games, right? Nice. And we're playing with a Mercedes 560 here. Here we go. Can you handle these 3D graphics, Pixel? I don't know that you can. Can you handle that engine sound? Can you handle this Mercedes-Benz jumping in ways that the factory or the manufacturer never intended? Look at all these cool cars here. I don't feel these jumps are realistic. Also, the fact that we exploded. What, you're, I did see your message, Ron, and yes. What, your car doesn't jump like that, Pixel? Do you even drive a real car or what? Because this is a real car. Now, I love how sharp it looks again on the black and white there. It looks really cool, but this feels extremely hard. Like the dodging you gotta do. I think that was a pretty typical thing to do back in the day for machines that couldn't actually do 3D for real. They used sprite scaling, right? The car never actually moves. It's the road that's scaling. A very common trick to do, but it depends on how fast it was able to do it. But the jumps are just hilarious. Like, why? I saw actually someone was working on an indie game now where they were trying to do the same thing, because this is what's going on right now. It's just the car is one layer, right? It's just one flat image. And it's being replaced, when you turn, it's being replaced by another image, right? And it was limited by the performance back on the machines that they couldn't do that too many times. If you had multiple images for each car, it wouldn't work. Well, the performance wasn't there. So, when you play the Amiga games, the SNES games that are like that, Top Gear, for example, on Super Nintendo, they only had like 1 or 2 different views of the car. But someone actually, I saw in an indie game, they took the same idea, but they added with modern performance, of course, in Unity or whatever, like 20 layers, and it looked super clean. I'll see if I can find that. It was an indie game being in development still, but it looked like this, except the car was like super smooth and can basically turn super far, and it looks really neat in a way that, you know, we couldn't do with the horsepower we had back then, because, you know, we had this. So, I love the jumps. What's with the jumps? I like also taking my Mercedes-Benz classic car out, jumping. Doesn't everyone? That's what I do with my classic cars. I don't let them sit in the garage. I go jumping with them. This feels so arbitrary as an obstacle. And that sound. Space shuttle in the back. Oh, there's the jumbo jet with the space shuttle in the back too. Good lord, that's pretty harsh. Just like, man, pretty harsh. I just dropped the cars in the woods. Sorry, there were no survivors. You're one of the fastest men in the world. Haha. How do I... Got it. Sweet. Can you... How do I enter it? Nice. I think it is Apple Escape, right? The force quit application or something, but there we go. Yep, that's fine. Force quit it. So it's Option Command Escape. And we got a little graphical corruption going here now. There we go. We'll just erase that. Problem solved. So Spectre is what people were saying, and I never played it, but I did basically see that there was a lot of people that were recommending some of these games because there's a large library of games available, so finding the good ones can be hard. I was going to show actually, because this is also full 3D, right? Yep. Look at that. Oh, full 3D. Well balanced. Okay, that's perfectly fine. All right, we got some vector graphics going here. Sweet. Yeah, is this what you were looking for, Pixel? Look at this. This is cool. Someone's shooting me. I am dead. Great game. It feels like it runs a little too fast here, too. Machine gun. It's... the keys are placed in a weird way, making it difficult to, like... Ooh, a flag. The flag is mine. Victory shall be ours. The flag has been ours. It is quite charming. It is quite charming how... the, like, dithered buildings and everything. Look, there's a dithered windmill. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm looking at the radar to see where the bad guys are. I see the bigger blips there are the... like, for instance, here now. It's just... it's a little weird when the arrow keys aren't in the arrow configuration. So I'm basically playing with this keyboard, and the arrows are in one row here, the arrow keys. They're not lined up the way you would expect another keyboard to be, and that's taking a little getting used to. And now I can't move. I cannot move at all. Nothing is reacting. Did my keyboard get unplugged? It probably did. No, it didn't. Neat. Take that. I don't watch my ammo. Do not need to. The return pad here. I'm sure once you get used to it, once your muscle memory kind of, or, you know, learn to work around it, it's fine. But right now, it is a little hard to, like that. Can I get more than one flag? Alright. Got a little battle zone feel to it, obviously. It's the first thing that comes to mind, but still impressive. I just, again, there's something super charming with the black and white dithered graphics, especially in a polygonal situation, or pseudo-polygonal. Assume this is still using, like, oops, more or less, you know, sprite scaling to make it happen. Can't turn any faster. Doot. This is the... That's something, alright. It's a flag. Flag. Like, yeah, it's like hover. Flag. Okay, so this full polygon, I think. Impressive. Most impressive. Bang. Flag. My flag. And it's just, it's fun every time you dive into a quote-unquote a new platform. One that, you know, personally I haven't experienced that much. There's so many games and experiences to go through. Versus, like, one that I... You know, I'm very familiar with DOS and Windows 95. I played a lot of the big hits on those, you know, already. But then you get into this where there's, like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of games, if not thousands, that are just waiting to be explored. And that's always fun to get into a new system. Not every system is, you know, great or worth exploring, but, you know, you look at some systems that are just like, okay, that's neat, but it's not that fun. But there are plenty of platforms that have really good games, so. There is a Star Wars game on here that's, I believe, also vector-based. I was a little hesitant to play it because I figured it has Star Wars music in it. And that's, well, then again, I'm not monetizing these anyway. I do not put ads on the live streams anymore because it felt a little silly. Evening Stewart, welcome. How are you? I think those pads... I saw, was it... I forgot his name. Sean from Action Retro? Or maybe that's not his name. But he had, like, an accelerator in there and something to run Doom on a Mac IIci. I'm excited to see the video when that comes out here soon, but I know he has a history of cramming in way overpowered equipment into his machines, which is always fun to watch. Vector. It's fun. It's a neat game. Feels like a Vectrex game, almost. About... Conceived, designed, written, sweated over, bullet, and final kicked out in the cruel world by Steve. Nice. Build. Ooh. Try that. Still gonna run good. Well, now it's vector. So the other one was filled. This is vector. Vector. What's your vector? It's basically the same, except way more battle zone-y. It's fascinating too that the it's like dots and not lines. Like the bullets, like the... I guess it's to separate a little bit. Can you exit out of this game? I can just die, I guess. It's a very, very distinct charm to it, for sure. No. Oh. I was waiting to die there. I assume it is. Now, does this run full speed as well with the full vector on, like a slower Mac? Because, I mean, this is the... pretty fast for the, Boy, if you don't pay attention there, you're just screwed. Yeah, it makes sense. You would do it faster. But, that's a neat game. We do have SimCity, yeah, so we'll play that as well in a little bit, but let's go back to Dirt Bike, because, yeah, there's so many cool games on here, and we will have to play double more, of course, because we always do, because it's that, but I was going to show real quick before we go on here. What is on here is this, Ron, if you're wondering. So this is a Mr. Mac pack. And it originally was designed, I forgot the person's name, unfortunately, but it's on the Mr. Forums. They made, and it's a couple of years old now, or at least 1 year old, if not older. I think it was late 2021. They compiled, and all they really did was, I'm assuming, create a disk image in Basilisk or something, and then organize everything like this. And the cool thing is that if you boot Mr. with this, then you basically get a full Mac OS ready to go. You don't have to do anything else. Yes, Duncopter's on there too, which I've never played, but we will play tonight. And they dropped in basically, you know, almost every game on here. Not everything, but a lot. And the cool thing is this is fully compatible with this Blue SCSI. So taking this image and dropping it on the Blue SCSI and plug it into my SE30, and boom, like the whole thing just works right out the bat. And that made it, I didn't have to configure anything. So I attached that here now as a second drive, so I can copy files over. But it's got just a boatload of stuff on here. Above all, it was designed for the Mister, but I think even, I thought I saw Eric was even mentioning, like, you could use a Mister disk image or something like that. Maybe I saw it somewhere, but either way, it is a really, really cool option to have a full set ready to go. I would like to network this thing, though. I do have a network card and network plugged in, but not working right now. I haven't messed with it yet, so. But I can't remember what that game was called. I think, let's see, it is. I looked at the instructions. They're really weird. Let's see, it's. Go. Whoop, we gotta watch that kick there. So this is really weird. I will explain the control scheme in just a second, because it's really weird. Keep it up. I wish I could remember what that game was called, because keep it up. Keep it up there, boss. Whee! This will end well. Oh, we're you were doing so well until everyone died. You basically have to select your gear. In the bottom left corner, you'll see my gear. And you basically pull the mouse up or down to accelerate or slow down. And you got to balance basically the gear with your speed. And as you saw, I don't think there's a way to control like your angle on the bike, which means that if you do full speed over a jump, you're just going to collapse. But it's just fun to see all these weird games and their weird control scheme. Wow, thank you very much, David Jacob. That's very generous. Thanks a lot. And welcome. I didn't see you earlier, but thank you so much. I'm sorry you're spending money to make me look at me crashing my motorbike here. I'll try and do better. Full speed. Whoops. Do not click the other window. This is going great. Whoa. It reminds me, I can't remember the name of the game. You mean David? I can link it in the description. It is a... Basically, they created a Google Documents, and... Whoop! I don't know where the performance is there. You can either look on the Mr. forums, otherwise I can put it in the description here. I'm not sure if they wanted it to be fully public, but it was a Google Docs that has an image that they created, basically. And I can certainly put the link in here as well, but that's where I found it, and you can download it from there. I think it's on, you know, whatever file share. Can't believe I survived that. Come on. Full speed. Oh, yeah, like a boss. Oh, I died. This is the kind of game I would have spent hours on, trying to get a little better in every time, right? So yeah, you basically pull the mouse up or down to accelerate or slow down, and you have to select a gear. Yeah, I know my time wasn't great there.
Go.
Ah.
Whoa, whoa.
Had to go to neutral too. You can see my gear selector at the bottom there.
Keep it up. Whoa, whoa.
You're good, you're good. Oh. What was that? There's a bike game on Windows or DOS or something that's very similar in a sense that you have to get through like obstacles. I don't think I'll beat the time by Brad here. Brad seems pretty godlike at this game.
Whoa.
Physics? Who needs them? I believe the crash sound was literally someone saying in the microphone there. Come on. Oh, you know, Brad, not everyone can be as good as you at this game. Let's see if there's a load bike. Ooh, fast bike. Dirt bike data. Let's see, load track. Let's look at the instructions again. So, Line Rider, is that the one? I could have sworn we were spending so much time playing that one. Okay, type X to start engine. Type X to spread in first gear. Yeah, you can edit your track. That's pretty much it. Let's see, we can load a track. Big jumps. It's a neat idea, because, oh my goodness.
Go.
We're gonna die! Woo! I love the little... Aw.
Whoa.
I wish the throttle was not on the mouse like this. Alright. Dirt bike. It's really neat, but repetitive. Let me find the link and I'll put it in chat real quick to that Mac pack. I do think I saved it, so stand by. I have way too many bookmarks. The Yeah, I will put this in chat. I promise it is not a malicious link to the best of my knowledge. But that is a Google Docs document where they basically kept it as a living thing. And there are links there to download the images. And they're disk images, so you can use them on the Mister. Just straight up drop them in if you want. And basically load the Mac core from there. Or in this case here, all I did, Ron, for the Blue SCSI, I just renamed that same disk image to use the same format. I forgot what the format is now. I literally just renamed it to be the, disk ID 1, LUN, whatever, and it worked. That's it. In this case here, I renamed it to SCSI ID 2, I think, or maybe the internal hard drive 0, and this is 1, or it's whatever. So it can coexist with the built-in hard drive as well. And yeah, it works great. And that's what's mounted here. The Mac sees it as just like a normal drive, right? Because it's Blue SCSI. And it gives you a great access to applications and games and different systems. And for me, it was a great way to get introduced to the Blue SCSI because the idea that my Mac IIci had no hard drive. And I had really not many. I have a few Mac floppies, but yes, I would like to learn to install Mac OS and all that good stuff, right? But in this case here, I can just drop that image on the Blue SCSI, plug it in the back, boot it up, and bam, I have a full selection and everything, which is awesome. It's worked great so far, and that's what you're looking at right here. Dongle is right here. See if I can get this on camera. There. Here's the blue SCSI connected to the SCSI cable with this disk image on it. This is the Mac Pack hard drive you're looking at there. So, works awesome. I'm a big fan of blue SCSI. I think a lot of Mac enthusiasts are, so. Excuse me. Yeah, that's one game. We have a lot of other games too. Maybe we should try one of the. I know people are requesting it. I played this on NES, and we will get to Stuntcopter as well. But Deja Vu, I don't know, whatever. Is I played most of the way through this on NES, and that's where I knew it, and I think a lot of people did too. Not realizing that who's the maker of this game, Infocom or something. They made a lot of these adventure games on Mac, and I think this originated on the Mac, did it not? I could be wrong there. But it's a point-and-click adventure game, mostly text-based, right? You are a private detective waking up in a bathroom stall, not knowing who you are, anything, and it's kind of like a murder mystery to get out of there, right? We got to figure a way out. And examine the coat. The gray trench coat. Open the trench coat. Aha. Take everything that's in here. Coins, we'll need that for later. Again, I want to play this on NES, and this and Shadowgate actually play quite well on NES and has a really good soundtrack on there. It's not like anything's going on right now, but can I open the leather wallet key? Can I expand this? Nice. It's a nice little, like, how it uses the interface. The handkerchief cannot be opened. Okay, examine handkerchief. JS embroidered. This is a card with several tiny holes punched into it, printed on the words private access card, penthouse suite, Siegel, apartment 1A. Just cash. $20 bill. Okay. Open. You see yourself reflected in a mirror. The face stares back at you as though it belonged to a stranger. You again realize with horror you can't remember who you are. Dun, 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 dun. Evening, Ted. Welcome. No, he's just going to carry everything around like in his arms like this with just stuff everywhere. Why would you put it back? Can I assume so? Open wallet. Yeah. Remember loss is making you feel wary. It feels like you've been up for many days without sleep, only worse. Can I... Oh, I just ate the cigarettes. That's not what I intended to do. Oh well. You're in a dark, empty bar. It's nighttime outside, obviously after hours. Either that or you're scared everyone away. There, take a shot. You shouldn't drink. Fine. Can I at least take it? You never know when you're eating a drink, right? You're in what looks like a reception room or secretary office. You detect the odor of cheap perfume still lingering in the air. Operate. I don't know what numbers to dial yet. I think I had... No, that was on a business card. Typewriter. It's a typewriter. For those who are illiterate, it's a handy tool. For those that aren't, it's a time waster. So just to move along. Well, fine. It's locked. Locked. It's locked. Operate lamp. There's no bulb in it. Fine. Oh, I can try to take my desk. All right, Eric. Thanks for stopping by. That is work. Work. I am trying not to find a way to fit in a HD CRT now. I am very jealous of that one because I can only imagine those component-based later 480p platforms like GameCube, PS2, Xbox, Dreamcast. All that stuff must look just great on that thing, and that's like I do love my D series a lot, and it works great. However, that would be. I don't think I should leave yet. I have a feeling that's a bad thing. That car out there. I feel like I'm gonna. We're in a wine cellar. The place looks like it could use a good sweeping. Would you care to volunteer? Uh-huh. Entire wine rack slide to the side, revealing a secret passage. You're in a weird chamber. Neat. You're in a casino. There's nobody around. You think your sudden presence may have something to do with it? Kind of not. Okay. Wheel spin. Assignment. We come up closer. Maybe gambling doesn't pay. You came up a loser. Oh no. Operate. We'll put another coin in because I'm maybe you should stop before you're getting addicted. Fine. Craps table. Crap. Second floor? Oh, you're already in the floor. Okay, goes one floor. Oh, sewer. The floor beneath it gives way and you fall through a dark shaft. Falling till splash. You're in a sewer. I think some of these games actually has a like a kill scenario potentially. Oh, that's where I came from. Elevator. Go to third floor. Oh my. As you leave the elevator in a room, a wall slides shut behind you, sealing off the elevator. Obviously, the elevators use a secret means to get in and out of this office. You're in an office. There's a dead body slumped over the desk. His left hand still grips the phone receiver. In the background, there's a wall safe, a window, and a telephone. Uh-huh. How you doing there, buddy? It's a man who appears to be lacking something, namely life. Oh, snap. There are 3 bullet holes in him. He suggests a memory. The face rings a sour bell. You feel as though you should be able to recall who it is, but your memory fails you. You hear no dial tone. I got a dial number. Examine the safe. Safe for the combination. Look. No. Wouldn't be a good murder mystery if you call him the fuzz, right? I don't think I can open this yet. I don't need a combination. And I don't think I have anything on here. You surely need an examination of where you played this game. Jeez. Nothing there. Can I open the window? Yeah. Oh, okay. I think there's a suck it. There's a I remember this from the NES version. The mugger will keep coming back, and you just punch him in the face, and then you catch him off guard. I did examine myself earlier in the mirror. I think I can. It won't open. A woman comes on over. She says, "It's been a long time. You just got out of prison. I went to pay our old friend Siegel a visit, but I only found his car in front, so I prepared a little surprise under the hood. Something even score. I got a little surprise in my purse for you, too. Blam! I think I'm dead. You're too late, pal. She used a gun from her purse to plug 3 slugs of cheap lead into portions of your body where they don't belong. Your suit is ruined and you die slowly. As you writhe in pain in the pavement, the blood begins to fill your lungs and overflow out of your mouth and nostrils. You realize with horror that you will be found dead without a proper change of underwear and socks. You cringe in the worst way till death mercifully takes the unbearable thought away. Start again." Yes. Old school adventure games. You have died. So it would seem. And we're back again. You take all here. We'll try one more time. If we get further. But there's quite a lot of games similar to this, I think, or like more like slow style, I won't say point and click adventure games, but games not too dissimilar to this. Can I take the coat? I can. You're right, I can. Thanks for that awesome tip there. Can I use it? Operate. Operating that served no effect. With sunglasses, I want to wear the sunglasses. When you try to put the glass on to slide off your head, obviously they don't fit. Ooh, there's a gun there too. Should have. You are now holding the gun. Should have taken the trench coat. The SNES version is actually pretty. There's water coming out of here. Water, You see the empty women's stall. Disappointed? Well, jeez. Fine. Anything in the basket? Open basket. Nope, empty. Worth looking, you never know. Puddle of water appears to be coming from the women's washroom. Let's hope it isn't someone with major trouble. No. Take the shot, bring that with us. We have already... I can use the key, you're right. Let's use that. Operate. I didn't open that yet, so... open. Wallet, there we go. And it does play or lend itself very well to this interface. And I think that there was, again, quite a few games like this on the Mac, so... I think it's Infocom, maybe? But there's Deja Vu and Shadowgate are, of course, very similar in their playstyle and everything, so... can I operate key with... Door's now unlocked. Haha! Oh, so it's the same way around. Fine. The background is a wall safe, a window, and telephone. Third floor fire escape. Oh my, this is a... You're in a weird room. I would say so, yeah. Diethanol trimine. That's not good. Medrazine. That's not good. Sodium pentothal. Can we save? Yeah, save. Oop, there's already one save file. There is. There we go. The actual game window could be a little bigger. It is. Can I take that? No, the shelf cannot be moved. It is a little funny that, you know, it is just hilariously, ooh. Syringe is currently empty. We'll see about that. I was going to use, examine, no. Give myself a hit. You're in a weird room. Examine. Almost looks like an electric chair, but has no power supply leading to it. It has restraints for the arms and head. Perhaps it's a dentist chair. I don't think so. So this is the elevator. Sewer. Crocodile. Crunch. You've been snapped into by powerful jaws of the alligator. Your lunch meat now. At least it was quick. Yeah, he died from an alligator bite, as is the style, apparently. So that's the thing. Oh yeah, you're right. That's probably what I should have done. There's some sections in this game where you have to think fast, and I forget to think fast. I think you are correct. That's what you do there, is use the gun. Let's see if we run into the alligator again. Nope. Okay, you can go around here, too. Blam! You saved your own life. The alligator would have had you for brunch if you hadn't shot. Nobody heard the gunshot as you're deep in the sewers. You're in the sewers. Someone reminds you of home. Okay. The same. That makes no sense. It's just a circle. Hmm. Oh, it's the alleyway. Okay. Your memory is almost totally shot. You feel heavily sedated. Whatever caused your memory loss making you feel progressively worse. You feel if you don't do something, there's not much time left. So yeah, you probably have to, like, do something. But I have a feeling that, so... Can I consume? The vial will be hard to swallow. Well... Medicine comes in very handy when we have given a dose of nerve gas. It's the only antidote you can save her life in such a situation. But since you haven't been given a dose of nerve gas, the antidote alone proved to be rather disagreeable. In fact, you begin to have violent convulsions. Gee, you wonder, was it foolish of me to take an antidote like this? The answer, you bet your life it was. Touche, trial and error. What do you mean I can't just inject myself with random stuff? Seemed like a good day at the time. I think you have to find some sort of pill that will help you or something. That's down there. You're in a sewer. Have a nice day. Neat. Reminds you of something you've seen before, perhaps in your childhood. That's it. The last time I took a bath, you saw something like this when the drain opened up and water was sucked in. Nothing to do there. The street. Oh. Newsboy looks at you, though he recognizes you. Can I give you a coin? Takes your money, thanks. The newspaper says the cops have been roaming around the area looking for suspicious characters. They got a call from some dame who lives across the street from Joe's bar. She told them that she saw some funny going on around here, and she gave a description that fits you. Better watch your step. Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor. Guns and ammo. Gentle-looking man behind the counter. Something you want? Bullets? 25 cents. Naomi, 50 cents. There we go. You owe me nothing. Cool. Can I load? Just open the gun, maybe? Oh, I gotta do this. These are empty slugs. Okay, well, it's so easy to operate this point and click stuff, but open gun. Oh, for Pete's sake. Put the bullets in the gun. There we go. And it's neat that it is inside the operating system. Like, there's no special window. Save. Play this for a little bit longer, but it is one of those games, like, you know, it'll be nice to figure out what to do here, but... Okay, so we can go here. There's a cab. Oh, the tip. Dang it. Let's see. Examine this thing. Operating the cab driver has no effect. Can I talk to him? I'd like to go to this place. Oh, doesn't say anything. Go! You can't go there. Go! Bulletproof shield. Well, I gave him 25 cents. I guess I can just skedaddle now, but I don't know where to go. Alright. Good use of money. Oh, here we go. Hit. Suck it. Aha! I think you keep doing this all the time. Eventually, I think you run out of turns and he actually will shoot you, so... But in the meantime, it's great fun, so... If anyone has any specific games they want me to play, let me know. I do have a few other lined up there. We'll play those as well, but if there's one specific one or any ones that you guys want to see from this era, let me know. Whoa. You run into a bum and blocks your way. He stands so close you can feel toxic levels in your system. New entry height. Something you wouldn't think was possible. The following words dribble out of his mouth. I got a scoop, something that'll save your life. It's worth $20 to you. He presses near, waiting for a reply. You better hurry before you pass out. I don't have any money, so... Oh, I did have cash. Dang it. Where did he go? Where's the bum? Lightning fast sock in the nose, puts stars in his eye. He stumbles for a moment and runs away again. It looks like you're dealing with the bluff artist, but I wouldn't take too many chances. Sooner or later, I think he will. Lamb, shot first. Too late, pal. She used a gun from a purse. Oh man. Dead. It's one of those games that's, as a kid or played younger, you would have just done trial and error, right? And it's fully beatable, but you gotta know what to do, so... Let's see if we run into the bum again. Cabs. Police station. Gotcha. Great. Hey, at least we're not dead. But they're unable to get any coherent response from his memory deteriorated. You're held in custody with your brain quickly lost to vegetable status. Rest of your life staring out a window in Bellevue Hospital's brand new wing for hopeless mental invalids. Okay. Oh my. That ended up well. So don't go into police station is the moral of the story there. There we go. Joey's hitman has been looking for you. I got the word that he's waiting in your office. Okay. That was worth $20. I wonder where my office is. Ooh. Eee, splat. Well, it seems like you fall into deep construction pit. You should watch where you're going next time. Good lord. Wow. Alright, we might be done with deja vu there. I think we're just gonna keep dying. No, I'm good now. It's still a cool game. You just gotta, like, get in the groove of it, as it were. Let's play the one, I think, that seems to be the premier, like, platformer on this platform, as it were. I find it a little bit challenging to maneuver and move, but this is Beyond Dark Castle, which will be the sequel to Dark Castle. That's pretty impressive, and kind of shows you what you could do with this set of graphics, so... let me look at the info again, because there's a ton of controls on here. Yep, stuff. And it plays very much like a... Kind of like a... There's several Amiga games like this. One's called Benefactor, I think, where you have like one single screen where you're moving around and doing stuff. So let's see, we have WASD, and then jumping. E key is duck, and that's it. So, alright. I have never messed with HyperCard, nor do I really know what it is. I've seen people mention it a lot, but yeah, not going to be my thing, making my own game, but... let's play on beginner mode. I think the animations in this and the graphic stuff is pretty impressive. Whoop, 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 whoop. we will go to this one, maybe? Why not? Yeah, a little too much fun with the animation stuff here. Good lord. Yeah, they had way too much fun with the... Oh, you lose health from those. What the hell? You always drink the random potions I find. And dead. Good game. Back to the beginning. I'm not gonna pick up those frickin'... But, I mean, I could see this being one of those games where you just, like, you know, relentlessly have to keep going until you figure it out, right? So, is there a bottle there? Yeah. Wow. Insta-kill getting hit by those things. Brutal. This is beginner. Absolutely brutal. I'm gonna make it all the way up there without getting hit by the things. Donkey Kong up there. For Pete's sake. Beginner mode, let's get through the first. Do I have anything I can use against these things? Tab is pause. Trying to see if there's anything I can do for, so rock. Throw a rock. I cannot throw rocks at those things. That is just the old-fashioned way of getting up there without getting knocked off. But, I mean, it's a really cool graphical design, I think. I see a lot of people talk about this one as being one of the, you know, not premier platformers on this system. But that was it. Like, literally just... We'll try a different room, I guess. But that was like... I died. All my lives were over, and beginning again with the game. So, let's, try a different room. How about this one? Maybe there's no throwing stuff here. Oh, goodness. This will end well. I jumped. Is everything instant death in this one? I don't think we'll get very far in this game. I cannot believe how terrible I am at this. The controls are a little stiff, I will give it that. It feels like it's pretty, like, hard to nail. He's doing a somewhat inappropriate move there. Whoa! I have nightmares about that now. I love everything about this game, the idea, but good lord, the execution is very difficult. Wow! Gnarly. That was it. We'll try a different room again. I'd like to be nice to be able to get through one room, at least if we can. Wow. Rough stuff. But, you know, if this is what you had, then that's what you play it until... Well, we went through the left one. We're going to go up to the top right one now. I think you have to beat, like, all the wings of the castle. And that's the idea. I'm not sure if this was on any other platforms. It was just a Mac exclusive. Oh, dear Lord.
Whoa.
His jump is pretty... Oh, good. I'm in a prison cell.
Whoa.
Is there anything that's not insta-kill in this game? Can you... Throw some rocks at him. How do you avoid that thing without getting just insta-killed? Can I crawl? No. Wow. Am I missing something? Basically, yeah. Chucking rocks up at that dude up there. So I need to get... I mean, I love the little... The art design looks great. Do I need to jump up on here? But I don't know how to jump straight up. Okay, I got out of there. Wow, it took damage just doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got somewhere. And instant death. Brutal. It is, I think, at this point, basically what's going on. I ducked. Is there anything that's not just like insta-perma murder machine here? Aw, gruesome. Take the time to animate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it tripping over and that's enough to kill him?
Oh, wow.
Got him. First try. I assume I have to activate the switch now, but how do I drop my... Oh, I put it back, probably. No? There we go. Again, I love the little graphics. They're definitely awesome looking. Okay, so now the thing stopped swinging. I need the keys probably from that thing.
Wow.
Like all my health. Not supposed to let me just...
Oh, wow.
Tripped and died. To start over? Oh yeah, start over. Impressive visual, and I love the little, like, not to say ant farm, but the style there is pretty sweet. But boy, that is just gruesomely difficult. And I think it's just one of those games where you just get a little bit further each time, right? You learn all the patterns, so you know how to pull it off, and I get the idea behind it. Boy, that is hard for me. Considering we can just do a little quick demo here, and he will play it for us, and we'll see how we actually progress. I mean, I am playing right now. By golly, I'm just that good. And I'm going to jump around and do all this stuff. But we can just see at least the progression a little bit more than just instant death all the time. Interesting enough, there aren't... Like, you know, there are ports on here, but there's, I think, quite a few, like, Mac unique games on here that were imported to other systems.
Yeah.
So let's see how this one's supposed to go then. There's a key there. Got to grab that bottle. Jump, jump. Dodge the thing. Get that. Jump. And he insta died from that one hit. Oh, Lord. Evening RT. Yeah, I will play Syndicate Wars sometime. I think we ran one time. We played that one time a long time ago. Maybe a little bit to show it off, but should play that. I played that quite a bit, actually. I do have the big box for it behind me. That is a great one. So you just gotta manage to dodge that crap the whole way, huh? A shovel. And you can smack it with the shovel. There's a hammer. And there you go. Easy. Well, then you gotta progress. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll play that too. Syndicate Wars is a great sequel to, or almost reimagining of Syndicate itself, with a great like voxel engine for the world. Again, I do love the art style, but that looks just brutal.
Yeah.
The sound. Why do the birds sound like that? I'm having nightmares about those birds. I saw that Dark Castle and Beyond Dark Castle, both very popular options and some of the top ones mentioned when you talk about games on the system or this platform, and I see why. I mean, it's custom animations, great little pixel artistry, and, you know, pretty good platforming, but hard as nails, apparently. At least for me. So that's Dark Castle. Beyond Dark Castle, sorry. Very cool game. I will never get very far in it. But let's play, yeah, we're gonna play SimCity, because we're gonna have a little nice relaxing time building a city. There's not much to worry about in that one. Licensed to Mr., as we can see there. I tried the version 1.1, and that was crashing, so version 1.4 seems to be working just fine. And we'll start a new city. Sure, we'll use this map. What? I did not intend for the random generator to have a inappropriate image in the middle. Yeah. Good map, everyone. Great map. Don't demonetize me, please. Yeah, Magic Carpet is awesome, too. I'm going to build over here. Yes, I know more commercial zones I need. I haven't built anything yet, you jerk. Cool. There doesn't seem to be any audio in this one here. I'm not sure, but again, I love the graphics in here. It just looks so like sharp and crisp. And then we'll build some, that's a park. Build some industrial zones. Put some power down. It reminds me very much of the Super Nintendo version, which I think that the Super Nintendo version is based on. This is the original game, right? This is the original SimCity. And that's what the Super Nintendo version is based on, except enhanced, and it's a really good version. Build some of that. Got a weird little snap to grid effect going on, but that's all right. I'll put some residential in here so they can live down here. Then I'm going to put some rail in right away so we don't get bit by that. Yeah, it really does. It is just lovely, lovely music in that version. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That cost a lot of money, probably. Oh, well. Try and put some rail in right away so I don't get screwed over by not having that later. We need a police department. And a fire department. Now our little city should grow. Then some parks maybe here. It's funny how much the Super Nintendo version borrowed or whatever, but yeah, it looks really nice and crisp in here. And again, it's a very unique style to it, and I'm glad that maybe some games are trying to emulate that today. Yeah, sure, go with these figures. Money. But see, where's my RCI meter? There it is. I need lots more residential, a lot more industrial. Got it. Industrial. I saw there's the announcement of, what is it, City Skyline 2, which looks pretty cool. City Skyline 1 is really good. Just, I want to call it almost like a city painter game in the sense that you're just building and, like, you know, figuring out how to make the most efficient city, but also it's pretty forgiving in its growth and the design of the game, so. I'm going to put in some parks here, so I have some nice stuff to look at. Run a little road or a railroad in between here. Yeah, that's fine. Chip it. Losing money, but that's all right. But SimCity is good on any platform, really. I don't think there's a bad version of SimCity. Well, ignoring the SimCity 2013 reboot, that was kind of a crash and burn thing, but in this case here, this generation of SimCity, I don't know that there's a bad version on anything, but it was ported to everything, wasn't it? I mean, it's like, isn't there like a C64 version of SimCity? Or am I just misremembering that horribly? Need a lot more residential, and then the squeak. And the mouse, for some reason. It's not going to be most efficient right now, but we're just building, enjoying ourselves, so. Time is moving really fast. No water to worry about in this one. That's not even invented yet, so. Now they want commercial. Needy jerks. Yeah, there's no music here, which is a little odd because I think it has sounds on. I'm not sure why. Sound is on. I don't know why there's no sound on this one. I tried it earlier too. The village has grown to town status. Now 2,000 citizens. All right. And I really don't know why it doesn't have any sound at all or music. And that's... Tornado! Where's the tornado? Oh, Wang Island, right? No? Okay. Good. Sure. You have fun with the tornado over there. Dang it. Map. Stay over here. So there was sound there, right? I mean, there was like a sound effect, but there's no music, and that really takes away. And I don't know that you can. I think it's still considered an entire zone, like a block zone. So if you bulldoze one corner, I think it takes away the whole thing. But yeah, the Super Nintendo version really is excellent, and it's got a great mood to it, or flow. It has the presents you can get and the gifts and stuff, and it really just elevates the game to almost like the best version of, you know, of the original SimCity, I feel. Can you do that in that one? You can bulldoze like a section of the thing. Because the SimCity version, I would say, is almost like the ultimate version of that version of the game, or that style of game. At least it feels like that to me. And since it's my opinion, it is the right opinion. Build a little redundancy in our power lines here. But dude, that's just a grid. I'm not building very efficiently, but, you know, here we are. Boy, they just want more commercial industry, and we're growing a lot of gangbusters. Because I thought you could do that by, like... That's so you could, like, delete smaller houses to make sure they grew bigger, right? Is that what you're thinking? To make sure that if there's a small house taking up the space, you delete it or blow it up. You're not dezoning it, but you're just blowing up one house. Sorry, that person who lived there. We're not losing too much money, at least. Yeah, it is. SimCity on Super Nintendo is one of my favorite games on Super Nintendo in general because it's so delightful to play. It's very relaxing to play. Although I played usually with the money trick when I was a kid, but it is a fun one. I was playing on the Mister. I think we streamed it on the Mister a year ago. It's just so relaxing and laid back. I like it a lot. The music helps a lot there. And also little Nintendo flourishes with Will Wright coming in and helping out and that kind of stuff, right? So, oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about that trick at all. So, because I know that once you got to the bigger cities in SimCity on Super Nintendo, it got really difficult to keep growing your city, especially if you had a map that had any water, because you needed every single square space. I never got the Megalopolis, the top tier one. Never managed to get that. I remember having my city almost cram-filled and just letting it sit there to grow slowly, and I was trying to find ways to optimize it, but I was playing on a standard map, not knowing which one was the best, and also not on the super secret map that has no water. Never got that far, so it's a bummer. Again, I do love that game a lot. It is so delightful to play. Yeah, I never played that version, but I've heard it's pretty rough, and maybe someone has done or will do an enhancement patch for it, because they have done the things where they basically patch in the software version with the SA1 chip, and that probably helps a lot. So, put in little parks here to reduce the pollution. Then we'll put some more industry. Look, make it all delightful and chipper here between all the coal or black smoke spewing factories. There, we're making money now. All right. The commercial zones help quite a bit with making cash, so. Rail is expensive, but we're trying to make a sustainable city here. It helped reduce traffic quite a bit, I believe. So I built it pretty poorly, but that's just the way it is with rail. Every time I do that, I just mess it up and just kind of wing it. And in Super Nintendo version, you do not need roads. I'm not sure if it's the same here. You can build everything with railroad everywhere, and they actually reduce the pollution and, you know, traffic complaints a lot. Ignoring the practicality of that, like, you know, oh no, there's a fire. Let's wait for the next train, you know. But it does work. Should connect this road here. Okay, so that's how you get the blank map, and I know that one's a big help for that game for sure. You want a ton of it. This meter is just like randomizing. It's rolling a dice, I think. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, this is mass transit automatic. You can't change anything here. You can decide which power plant to do, and that's it. But it is very flat without the sound. And I mean, this was on, I'm trying to think of any system around that era that didn't have it. I mean, of course, the 8-bits. Was there ever ported to SimCity onto 8-bits, like C64 or anything like that? That's right, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, City's growing a lot. Makes me want to play City Skyline now, because yeah, that's a nice modern city builder for sure. We're grown, gangbusters. Need more space. I haven't looked at any of the, like, you know, what's everyone liking or anything. Evaluation. It's Mary doing a good job. Of course, it good. Fine. Crime. Okay, so we need another police station then. there's something to lay back or relaxing with city builders. It just, you can spend hours and hours building a city and just painting it. And again, that's why I think City Skyline is such a nice modern alternative. And picked up the torch from SimCity. I will say though, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of expansion packs now. I know Aljuro's covered some of them, but if you buy the mega bundle now with all the expansion packs, there's so much content, it's almost ridiculous. I only have the base game, but I should really revisit it because it is a fun, relaxing game. So I'll put it on the pile of games I should play, I suppose, or play more. We need everything now. Well, they're really needy. So I think there's an auto budget police. I do not need that constantly. Again, I'm building a very inefficient city right now. That's just the way it's happening. But it doesn't matter. We're not going to maximize the city here now, but there we go. Hospital just popped up there. Again, I don't think it cares that there's no road there. Although we're kind of building a little willy-nilly right now. But why not? I'm the mayor. I can do whatever I want. Because I feel like it. Ultimate power. Just commercial. Yeah, it is a little hard to see sometimes what's going on there, but at the same time, it is a delightful design. But there's the mouse squeaking again. The fact that there's no audio is, or there's audio, but it just, you know, muted, whatever you want to call it. Nothing was happening there, which makes it seem weird. I have a feeling this would struggle in full screen on the Hong Kong. Traffic in the city is horrible. Highway shootings on the rise. Did I build more roads and rails or get a bulletproof limo? Fine. I guess there's one choke point here. Everyone's taking that to get through the industries. So we will build another road here. Spread out the load a little bit. There. Better. Needy buggers. SimCity is, again, that type of game you can just lose hours in and justifying those so, because there's always one more thing to do. Now, of course, you got to kind of balance the budget, too, and make sure you're not burning through the cash. But as a kid, I almost always played Super Nintendo SimCity with a cheat and unlimited money. And that did wonders, for sure. Made it a lot easier, for obvious reasons. Yeah, plenty of mass transit here. He's got a... Dang it. Scroll thing got me again. The mouse is a little imprecise. You can tell it's like snapping to grid. See that? As I'm moving it, it's not a smooth, independent mouse cursor. It's just snapping to grid. So that's throwing me off a little bit. There's rail. Take the rail to work, you jerks. I can't help it if people are still taking their cars, so... Right? Power. And we'll hop to the next game here soon. But yeah, SimCity is, again, boy, it's addicting. I got a city builder, like, I think I was on my Android phone a while back. That was one of those, like, you can buy it for $5 and never get an ad in it. I'm like, sold. Like, it was a full city builder on mobile. With very nice SimCity 2000 style, but updated graphics. I spent quite a few hours on that game, and it was no ads, anything. It was a full buy game, and you were done. Like, no microtransactions, nothing. And I'm like, wow, that is rare. So I wanted to give the money to the developer to support them, because I wanted to make more games. But it played very similar to SimCity 2000 in a touch format, but kind of ran out of steam eventually. There wasn't anything else to do in the game. And done everything, it just kind of stalled out, so... But I think that's probably enough for our city. So let's save our city. And say bye-bye to Wang Island over here. That's something. All right, anyway. Do not demonetize me. We have another one here that I've seen on a lot of other systems as well, which is, that's right. Well, actually, let's go to Stunt Copter. I know people were asking about that one earlier. Oh boy, we have a lot of versions. Let's do 2.0. Looks like the newest one. I have no idea how to play this game, but I think you're supposed to... Whoa! This is running way too fast, the mouse. It feels like it's running way, way too fast. Uh, 10 out of 10. Killed a horse by dropping my guy. Feel like I'm cheating a little bit here. I assume the score gets better the higher up you drop them. Doo-doo-doo-doo. It seems like it's running way too fast, right? I just killed the guy. Alright, is there a set speed? There we go. Slow by 2. Slow by 4. Okay, so it is a forceful slowdown. That seems better. That seems a lot better. Nice little jump there. This makes a lot more sense. The other one was just like hilariously fast. Ooh, made it. Barely. I thought I was gonna knock the guy out there, but... The questions are many. Why are they doing this? What's the purpose? Huzzah! Whee! Going faster. Why are they riding faster? Amish helicopter rescue. Boing. Assume you get higher points for the higher you go, but... Whew. I'm just gonna save the guy, so I don't want to knock the horse out again. Huzzah! Do-do-do-do. I assume this game gets pretty hard later on here as you... Boing. Hanging onto a cloud. Again, that is something with the graphics. And there's another game. I think my cousin's had on, or my uncle's Mac had a Hangman game. I think we played that quite a bit. Gravity. Oh boy. Simple arcade game. Something you can get really stuck in. I was getting high pitched there. Sorry. Gravity is like super slow now. Like way slower. So the gravity is flying. If you want to time it here now. We're not gonna make it. Off screen? Oh, nice. These are all the character animations that are sitting off screen that's being used. Pretty simple game. Fly the copter over the hay wagon. The stuntman jumps when you click. Land all 5 men safely in the wagon to advance score. Height times current level. Be careful not to jump on a driver or horse. Gravity will start changing at the 4th level. Press the key to pause or exit. So yeah, if we go back to the normal speed... oh yeah. Release the people! Oh. Look at that poor horse. Again, I love the sharpness you get with the black and white graphic style of this. It just looks awesome. Yeah, anyway. Stuntcopter. 1.0 clouds, Windows, so it looks like there are more versions there, but the speed was pretty funny there. But yeah, let's do Shuffle Puck Cafe, because this is one I've seen, and I think that was ported on a lot of different platforms, but it looks really, really good, the detail in these images. This weird, like, space cafe somewhere playing shuffleboard. Or Shuffle Puck, sorry. You could play a competitor here now. Nice. I don't think I'm going to do so well on this one. I'm bad at shuffle puck in the beginning, and the sprite scaling. AI ever make any mistakes here? Ah, the mouse is a little sluggish. I'll blame it on that. Going great. Yeah, it does look pretty good on the 3D here now. Yeah, the mouse definitely needs to be cleaned. Yay, I got 1 point. Brr. The AI is really... Oh, you're thinking it's just replacing the sprite. I wonder if this supports, like, multiplayer over network or something. Maybe not on this version, but that would be pretty sweet. Come on. Oh. Oh. The mouse is not very good at fast movement like this, so... You can hear the mouse struggling, you can't move that fast. I'll blame the mouse. Clearly it's not my severe and crippling lack of skill. Alright. Not going down into the fight. You can hear the mouse fighting too. In certain movements, it goes... Oh. First to 10, maybe? Come on. I'm not sure if the mouse is coming across on the microphone or how it just kind of mega squeaks once in a while. Definitely needs to be taken apart and just kind of cleaned out, and probably like the ball itself probably needs to be washed out too. I don't know that it ever has. I'm trying to think of what machine I think I got this from a friend who was nice enough to give me a whole bunch of retro stuff. I think this keyboard and mouse came from his Mac IIci that he had recapped. Of course, very functional, but it definitely needs to be cleaned. Yeah. Dang it. This is pretty brutal for being the first. I think you're supposed to beat all the people in that cafe there. Or people. Monster guys. The AI is pretty brutal. Vinny is very good. As it turns out, Vinny is better than me at this. The update rate on the paddle is pretty impressive too. I mean, it runs super smooth. And that's the thing too. It's like, it feels to me that all the games you played on the Mac of this vintage, all just kind of ran smooth. There was no like, you know, sluggish movement. I'm sure there's some that pushed to the limit, but like in general, it all just kind of works. I'm not making much headway here with Vinny. Mouse is not catching up anymore. Is it first 15? I am not going to win this. Ah, the mouse does not keep it up anymore. Vinny is really good. Let's get it over with, Vinny. Stop toying with me. Can't move the mouse fast enough. I'll blame it on that. Yeah, I think this one is on Amiga for sure. I would assume DOS as well. I've definitely seen it on the Amiga. But again, it just has a great charm to it, and the only game I'm aware of that does like a tries to emulate the 1-bit style of black and white is The Return of Obra Dinn, which came out a couple of years ago, an indie game that like a murder mystery set on a ship. I've heard really good things about it, but it is a very, very unique art style that's not used very much. I mean, we have color, right? So well, I should just end the suffering here now for the viewers. Huh. Now return to Shufflepuck live streaming. I get my behind handed to me. Yay! Now it's gonna make a glorious comeback, like a good underdog movie. No, that's not gonna happen, but... Yeah, that's it. Really? Rub it in, why don't you? Paddle size. Ooh. Blocker. Blocker. Medium. New opponent. I don't want Vinny anymore. Play that guy. There we go. Oh, we can have the... Aha! Okay, we're not gonna do this, but... That seems fair to me. This gentleman is apparently very, very good. Button up? Oh. Well, you can set all the stuff. I'm still winning. Doesn't matter if I cheat. Still can't win. Anyway. Shufflepuck Cafe. A delightful game, although hard. But I think we have to play double morale now because it is just that time. For those that didn't catch it in the original stream, Do grab a few other games too that I bought. Double Morale is one of my favorite games for this platform. A game where the objective is to drink as much as possible without dying. And if that sounds weird, then you're correct. It is a student game that was made by, well, a couple students in Sweden in 91, I think. Or 90, I guess. And the thing is going on in the student city of Lund on the east side of Sweden, or east coast. During the time that the students are graduating, the idea being that you need to drink yourself silly and also keep up with your schoolwork. So that's part of the game here, is that you have the games section at the bottom where your home is, and up here is where you go and drink yourself silly, and you can also die by drinking too much. So, you know, I can't remember all the moves, so we will see here. I can't remember all the buttons, if any. I think it is like go to cover null. Okay, so it's G. There we go. G, of course. You gotta use that to get home too. You gotta watch out for the I think there's a way to run, isn't there? Can't remember the button to drink. Find another place to drink. This is ridiculous. There's damage too. That's a jump. Tried this before. Freaking tree limbs everywhere. We'll figure this out eventually here. Before we die from tree limb damage. 0. There we go. There, get some health back. You're in the fountain. You can climb up here and think. Oh, took a lot of damage there. Not good. Hit me, officer. I'm just walking past. Jeez. The tree limbs are a very annoying... Uh-oh. You have taken so much damage during a carnival that you died to death. We'll try that again. We play this a lot. I mean, my cousins and I, we were kids playing this, and we thought it was just so silly and so funny. And in hindsight, I'm not sure if it's a necessarily kid-appropriate game, but it's freaking tree limbs. If the tree limbs weren't there, it would be a lot easier. I think they realized they had to have something. You can pee to make sure you don't fill up your bladder too much, of course. Alright, we're getting a score going here now. Your health regenerates by drinking beer, of course, as it does in real life. I weren't getting just annihilated by these stupid things. What happened there too earlier too was that my mom, who's down there making food, she came in to check on me in my bedroom, and I wasn't there. I was drinking. So you need to make sure you're there for otherwise she's gonna come after you. P2. It's an interesting game, and I don't know if there's anything else quite like it. There, I think we get a lot of health back doing that. Oh, better go back. See, she's coming there now. If I'm not there when she comes in.
Good boy.
Good boy. My uncle always thought this game was just super hilarious. What was going on? I know there's a way to climb up here and get the beers up there too. Oh, he knocked me down. I couldn't drink the beer. Stupid tree limbs. It is the best place to drink there. But, oh. He's too drunk now, too. He's like... He's taking damage running. So now she's going to go up and look for me, and then if she sees me, she will hit me with meatballs. Now she's going to come back and check that I'm here. I think. Nope. And you got to balance all these different things as you're playing it, and it's still just, again, I don't know any game that's similar. Come on, pick up the beer. There we go. The tree limbs would make the game very annoying in that sense. It's really hard to dodge them. I know they just wanted, like, an obstacle in the game constantly, but... Gotta run home. Oh. Hurry, hurry. We're home. Whew. And I think the objective of the game, if you can make it, you get points this way, is to get as much as possible by doing both things, which is where the whole double morality of the game comes around. And I died. It's tree limbs. That's double morale. Do one more round, then we'll call it good there. But it is, I don't know. I just have so many fond memories, and like anything, if you have a game that you played a lot when you were kids, right, that's just sticks with you for so long. It took me a while to figure out what this was called, because I didn't remember in Swedish. Already? You're already coming? Check on me? Gonna make it? We made it. Good boy. And out to drink. He's supposed to be sitting there studying, right? So... And I don't know. It's just something with the design that makes this really fun. And again, it has little details and stuff like that. And I love that in games. When I do little... Stupid tree branches. Eventually, if we get too drunk, we're gonna throw up too. So I just say, oh, better get home. That's not gonna be good because he's gonna stumble now. Oh, make it, make it. He's right there. Fine. And it's a puzzle action game, right? And it's hard to describe this game to other people. And it's like, yeah, you're a student and your objective is to get drunk while not getting caught and stuff. And if you get caught up there when she's there, she starts flinging meatballs at you. It's a Swedish game after all. And she flings rock hard meatballs at you. And you will die from that. Eating Jeremy. Playing double morales. Eating Solar. Oops. I can decide which direction to puke because I... Welcome to the stream where... Playing a game where you're drinking so much you puke. Great, right? And now we're peeing. And getting hit by tree limbs. Come on, that was not fair. Yeah, we played it on the, oh. I need to get home. Too late. I'm right here. I missed it again. Yeah, we played it on the last time we streamed on the Mac, which was the Quadra. So, and it's for me, it's a very classic game since I played it so much as a kid. Every time I was visiting my cousins, we would play this. It was one of the few games that was on their Mac, the family Mac. Because I mean, my uncle wasn't going to go to like software swaps or things like that. Thanks. They're going to knock me down there. It gets harder and harder to walk now because he's so drunk. You get a lot of health back by kissing this lady in the fountain. Oh, better pee here now. Oh, no. Not gonna make it. Yeah, that's right. So it's a nice JVC, right? The 32-something. Those are super nice. Used the exact same tube as the D-Series, I believe. Just a different chassis. I gotta go pee here now before my bladder explodes. That's the second bar there. If that fills up, you die from an exploded bladder, which is less than ideal, as it were. Gotta get home. Oh, come on. Stop. Missed it again. He's so drunk he can't run. I think you can max out both scores, so they might drop slowly. I guess you're getting points by being drunk, it looks like, so. Just like in real life. But, yeah, there's something about playing on a proper CRT. There's a lot of really good options for emulating it, and there's a lot of good scanline options, stuff like that. But nothing quite compares to playing on a true CRT, especially a component curved one. That's definitely my favorite one. I used to have a JVC iArt, a flat one, and then eventually, like, just wanted a curved one again and kept an eye out, and a local D-Series showed up and did that, so. Alright, Stuart, thanks for stopping by. See you later. As we're going back to our drinking, peeing, and who knows what simulator. Oh, she's coming home again. I think we can make it now if he stops falling over. Nope. Nope. He hadn't fallen over 3 times there. I guess he's pretty drunk, so. As long as your drunk meter is high there, you will keep getting points, it looks like. It's like a life simulator. Well, it makes sense what Ron was saying earlier, then. It makes me understand a little more how the sound thing works on the Mac. Basically, it's all samples made in software. Or not made, rendered from software, and that's how it's that they can do everything, basically. Alright, I have full health. Doing pretty good right now. And fell down because he's drunk. And now I gotta decide what direction to puke. Yeah, there's some, you get those restrictions sometimes, and you gotta live with it right, and it doesn't always work. Ideally, everything has all inputs, but I think if I puke on the police officer, he actually arrests me. No. Can we make it home now? Yes. Fantastic. And back to drinking. Because that's the thing that, none of them were intended to be used with as many different inputs as we use as retro enthusiasts, so. Because I got everything hooked up, but I have to use, can you make it home? I doubt it. I have to use the composite on the front for the composite systems, because the composite and component are shared on the back for that input. So yeah, the same thing on mine in D-Series is the S-Video. It's the same as input 2, I believe. and then input 1 would be component, and then I have composite on the front. That's the only way I can make that work. So it's a bummer. I wish all the inputs would work, but here we are. So coming home again. There we go. I'm getting a really good high score here now. I've never gotten this far, I think, so. But I gotta get to the E in here before my bladder explodes. Which is the thing that happens in this game. She's coming home again. I think she's not so much protective as, like, she thinks he's out drinking. Which, you know, to be fair, he is. She's coming home again? I think it just, as you get further and further in the game now, she's going to come home more and more often. But we're going to max out the score here now pretty soon. But I do have to pee immediately. Again, if the tree branches weren't falling so much, it would be not nearly as hard, but... Oh, come on. One more hit from the branch now, and I'm a goner. Yep. You have taken so much damage that you have died to death. Alright, high score. Wow. Yeah, those are the makers of the game then, of course, and yeah. I did not reach their lofty ideals, but it's still a really fun game. I like it a lot, of course, but it's like one of those you play, you know, here and there, so. You mean Leon? So actually, we can actually change that because the onboard is only, so there's a couple of things, and I'm still learning about the 2CI, and while this is onboard video, it does support full color, actually. So we can run in full color mode, even 256 colors if we want to. It uses shared memory, I believe, to carve out some of the memory. As I understand it, with a dedicated video card in the 2CI, even though you can free memory, performance-wise, the video performance actually drops because the I think the new bus speed is slower than the integrated video. So in this case here, we played on the black and white because I was kind of like, we're doing mostly a black and white 68K style games, right? And some games actually won't run in this color mode. They actually complain that, hey, you should really have the black and white set. So, oh, okay, nice. Because I've looked at that too, and I was split on it, the way I need it or will play with it, because it frees memory, right? It's a big thing. But at least when I read it online, and again, I could be completely wrong there, is that there's drawbacks to that too, because the video performance drops a little bit. But, you know, yeah, I had color, but, well, to be fair, let's put it this way, Doppler. Most games that I have on here do not support color. So even if I go back, so the Double Morale, for example, does support color. I can look now and see, I think it does right off the bat. But a lot of games do not. This one, I believe, will run in color now. You can see the difference. Yep. But a lot of games do not. They just run in black and white because there's separate versions of it. I think this one is understanding and compatible with both. You can see now just lovely colors everywhere. And the reason I was playing in black and white above all in most games, or everything we've done so far, is that I almost... If I could stream from a Mac IIci or a Mac IIci 30 or something like that, then I would. But there's a lot more involved process of getting video out on that. The nice part with the Mac IIci is that, you know, it has a video out port, so I can stream from it. So that's kind of how I approach this. But there's certainly games that are supporting color. And heck, maybe I'll make a quick video or something on the color games for this to show off, because it is a nice difference too. You can see all the different lovely colors here now generated. But again, some games don't support it, and I ran it in black and white, more from a nostalgic perspective, I guess, more than anything. So let's see, what are we going to play now? I've heard a lot about Crystal Quests, so we'll see if this one runs now as it is with color, or if it's going to complain, or if it has runs out of... Oh, this one is full color, look at that. This one I know people talk about a lot, so... yeah, the instructions will be good. Number key set of sound volume, okay. 9 is painfully loud, level 1 take give a much richer sound mix than level 9. 8 is default. Command 0 opens the save game. Wow. Command Q quits. Command S saves. Command Z clears the high screen. Wow. Keep all track of all that. Holding on other option key while clicking to start a game on a Mac 2 or another Mac. Super fast mode. Oh my. Move your ship around the screen, collecting all the crystals. Bonus lives are given, blah, blah. The gateway will open, pass through. Avoid the mines, grab special bonuses. Collect an extra smart bombs. Oops. That's weird momentum based here. What? I landed in the thing. Great game. Let's try it again. It's got a little weird, like, weight to it, but I've heard people talk fondly of this one, so... Really? Come on, gamers. Get out more, touch some grass, huh? I hit the thing. It is very, very... Hi, Revenant, did you wake up? I've heard good things about this game, and I see it. I see the, like, it's very arcadey, and when you finish a level, it does that. Okay, we can try that again, too. Because I'm pretty bad at this. And so you can always do, like, simple videos. Like, I run into that thing, too, where I, like, get so, into a deep video that then it just kind of grinds to a halt for other stuff, and sometimes it can be fun to, I'm thinking to myself, like, so I have an upgrade for the CPU and the one of the other streaming machines we use, the P3700. I have a 1 gigahertz card for it, or socket, sorry, goodness, a new chip, and I'm like, that would be a good one to do, but like, I don't necessarily want to do a full benchmarking video and all that stuff, so I might just do, like, quote-unquote a quick video, or like just, hey, here's the machine, here's what we do with it, I'm just going to slap the processor in and just get a video out. Like, it doesn't have to be a huge one, right? But I'm having a hard time staying motivated, too, because it is just, can be a lot of work, and you got to kind of get over that hump of, like, actually enjoying it, so. Why? What do you mean no time bonus? I aced that one. This is a deceptively simple game that I feel you can spend a lot of time on. I see why this is always mentioned as one of the top for the platform. Getting better. I mean, no time bonus. Blinking screen warning, I guess, for the, I'm crouching on the... Nope. Go away. What are those things? Can we make it out of here? Anyway. Seems like all the people who made video games for these Mac systems are really enjoy the fact they can do like full sample audio. Just a whole bunch of weird sound effects. Ah. Oh, that wasn't insta death. Boy, this gets difficult quickly. Like the precision maneuvering here now is. It's weird too because your character has momentum, so it's a little. There we go. Ah. Again, that's why I like this 2CI for what it is. It's just, it's, you know... Again, we determine... Oh, now it's really bogging down. I was saying just like how it runs really fast for these old games, but then... Take that, you jerk. It's got like the, it feels a little bit like, oh, I'm forgetting the, oh, for Christ's sake. Gravity Wars a little bit on, Gravity Wars on, Xbox 360 Arcade and everything. I love that game. Spent a lot of time playing that, and I know some other systems too, but... Oh, lost the bonus. Getting pretty brutal now. The sound effect. The sound effect. Yeah, you're right. Why am I thinking Gravity Wars? That's an Amiga game. Oh, jeez. I remember thinking, Geometry Wars looks great on a CRT. You put 360 on there, fills up the whole screen, and just awesome, like grid pattern and stuff. What lives do I have? Simple, yet difficult. I used to be good at it, but yeah, it was one back then, like in the arcade titles, there weren't that many, right? So, they had to be under 50 meg in the beginning too, I think, right? Before they opened that up. But that was a good era for real, you know, pretty high quality, smaller games. Good lord. Yeah. The reset there. That and Astropop. My wife and I played that a ton on 360. Those two arcade games. We still have it on our 360 that's still hooked up, of course, so it's fun to revisit that. What I want to do is actually have a second 360 hooked up to the CRT exclusively, because I do have the Slim 360, the black one, currently hooked up to the flat panel, but it's not quite the same for nostalgia's sake. Where's the... The sound effect is just... Well, in case I need to make it harder, here comes the kicks, guys. But it has that, like, deceptively simple arcade-style game here. Yep, game over. There we go. We got pretty far there. I think it was Control Command Q. There we go. All right. Yeah, I know. The problem was like I tried to shoot him at the same time. If I dual stick, it was one thing, but that was not happening. So, was it Spectre before? Let's try that with color then and see how that looks. If there's, it said it was better on that one. So, yes, most of the games or a lot of the games do not support colors, so I prefer to. Nice. I think there we go, the filled version. Let's see if I can remember how to play this now. Ooh, look at the colors. The problem is the mouse control, or the, yeah, this looks really cool in color. I'll give it that. But it's definitely struggling more, because it's filling in the shapes, of course. Like that. Oh, it definitely feels like more of a later console game. You can see the different, just a flag. Like that, jerk. Yeah. Yeah, big boxes. That's all I have behind me, but, did they have a big box release of this? It's like a pretty basic game for the intent, but... You see this, it speeds up when you get around. Ah. Someone shoot me there? Oh, it gives you refills. Okay. Oops. Do not hit the object. I don't know. I do have the cash card at least from that perspective, but I don't have anything else. This is just has expanded a little extra memory and a cash card, and that's it. But yeah, it looks good like that. Yeah, some of the manuals, it's funny, especially the flight simulator and stuff. The manuals usually are just so flippin' hefty. So we're not lacking for choice of games now anymore. Especially as you start collecting old stuff and get things like the Mister and stuff, and... I don't know. Give me some of that sweet recharge. Nice. Yeah, having a remote is definitely key for that stuff, especially if you want to get into the service menu, but it's nice that that's easier to source anymore now. People are kind of keeping track and holding on to the manuals. I was lucky that my D-series that I picked up was from the original owner locally here. It was a lady that were clearing out her house because I think she was moving to a assisted living facility, and her son was there helping out clean out. So I have the manual, and I have a written, like, thing that the salesman wrote on from when they bought it from a local shop, and then remote. So lucked up pretty well there, and I think I paid like 20 bucks for it or something. And borrowed my friend from work, and we went over lunch and picked it up, and there you go. Now, he had to commercially help me haul out my old JVC iArt flat 32-inch as well. But there's something with the curved. I mean, yes, the flat CRTs are great too, but there's something, for me, it's extra nostalgic and more like retro style for me to have the curved with the components, and that's kind of what you got there with your JVC as well. It just feels like the perfect in-between. Did we figure out there's a way to quit this game? Yeah. Command Q. Let's see. Maybe check out one more game and then we'll call it. But yeah, we're running our own color, of course. One of the crazy cars has a color mode. Does not look like it, but this is kind of like a weird little arcade shooter game here. Yeah, now this is black and white. Okay. Begin. Whoa. What am I? Oh. Okay. Where's the mouse? It took control of the mouse, but then didn't freeze it in the game. Oh, I see. Now I'm following. Oh, I need to find 3 trains. Okay, I got it. Now I'm following. The little scope is the control here. All right. Gotcha. 2 blanks. What else do I need to hit? Okay. Yeah, it's really, really a bummer that something like that can happen. And, okay. Try it again now that okay, so 4 guys. Paintbrushes and an Ankh. That's a lot to keep track of here. Paintbrush, building, the guy. Building. Another paintbrush. Another building. Got a little thing. And freaking lost focus again. Well, that's good. So that's what happened. Because the focus was lost, I couldn't see. I need those onks, I think. Or one of those. Camel. Round time. Yes. I do have... Well, Apache. I have the A64D longbow, but I don't think I have Apache itself. No, you're right. Apache was a different one, wasn't it? So no. I do not have that. I get it. It's an interesting game. Oh, sorry, we never checked out Kid Pixman. We'll do that quick because that was one that people were talking about, and I see the appeal in this. Now, normally black and white, but we have the color mode here now, which would have been a treat, I think, for anyone playing this back then. Yes, it belongs to me. It's a very, very color-friendly game for kids. Tons of cool effects. It reminds me of Mario Paint. Like, sure, yeah, you got some regular, coloring, but then you got some really cool, like, stamps and fill-in effects, and got the Mac fill-in effect, of course. I never had never heard of this game, or this game, I shouldn't say. It's neat, like, super neat. It reminds me a lot of Mario Paint, in the sense that it just has kind of like a joy to it. Let's undo. And stamps, and like, really reminds me of Mario Paint, actually. And I never had a Mac then, and my cousins had one, right? And we played just with Mac Paint. That's all I have remembering is Mac Paint. No, really. So you mean Apache on the Mac here now? We can take a look quick and see. If you happen to know what year it was made, I can look and see if that is what it is. If it's a Mac game, if it's a Windows game or a DOS game, then I would not have it here. But ooh, but this is really well-featured like painting software. I should probably show this to my my daughter. She loves painting and stuff, and she'd probably have a lot of fun with this. There's so many like things to do in this game. Way more creative like coloring stuff than you normally see in games like, or I keep saying games, but yeah, she'll probably enjoy the heck out of this. So let's take a look at if we have Apache. No, I don't want to say my beautiful. Okay, so I don't think I put it in here. Nope. We'll take a look at MacPack. And then go to games. 1987. There it is. By 12 by 342. So you got to change the resolution, right? Can we do that? Then my capture's going to get all wonky. Finishing out on a weird one. Thanks. Can you change resolution? I don't even know if you can. Options. Nope. Is there a way to change that? It's running at 640 by 480 now, but can you change it to be... Feels like the color mode is definitely running slower, but using more memory, right? It's consuming more memory. I honestly do not know how to change the resolution in Mac. It even lets you. Still gonna run? No. I guess it just rebooted, so it crashed. It's still at 640 by 480 though, and I get to see the boot up sequence, which has a couple of errors actually, because there's a couple of pieces of software that are on here that don't work anymore, including a zip drive thing. And I haven't learned Mac enough to uninstall or get rid of them, and I'll probably do a fresh reinstall on this thing sooner or later. But ooh, I've been want to run this in black and white. I never even seen that in color. But yeah, the idea being is that it's consuming more of the shared memory right on the machine, and there's less memory for the rest of the machine to use. So at that point, you have more sluggish performance. Makes sense. All right, thanks for my solar. Have a good day, and things will look up, I'm sure. Just keep playing that CRT. It's a good, nice endorphin release. But yeah, Apache Strike then requires the low resolution mode, which I do not know how to get into. Yeah, announcement on install, whatever. I think that's network related because this machine came down from a school lab where it was used for networking purposes. And this is where probably people will be commenting like furiously, like the people that know the Mac stuff, like this. You just go in here. Why aren't you doing that? Check general controls too. Desktop pattern. Change the pattern a little bit. I would think it would be under monitors, but I don't see any settings here. Multi-monitor option here, but yeah. No other settings here. And yeah. Memory allocation. You can basically reserve lower memory so that you get more memory for the rest of the machine. I mean, for this purpose of this machine was being used before, I think was probably just like for controlling the other computers in the lab there or whatever. So that's true. We can. It might be not enough memory. Nope. Black and white. The classic look. And I'm sure there's just an easy way to do it somewhere, but I am not aware or familiar where to do it. So you think it would automatically change it at that point, but it's possible we're just lacking that control panel, right? Because there's a reason you might not need it. And interesting enough, that's what I'm still trying to get used to for Mac, that you can just install or remove control panels like that. So let's take a look at the system extras here on 7.01. Control panels, maybe we're missing one. Monitor sharing setup. Nope. Extensions. Sharing. Nope. There's probably some like command or shortcut you need to hold as you boot. Wouldn't surprise me. Because they're probably going to default to, yeah. I think it supports, from what I understand. I mean, I think you're right. But what I looked up quick earlier was that it does support that low resolution that we need for that game. But I just don't know how to set it, and it may not try. That is a lovely pattern. I bet that YouTube is not compressing or messing with that at all. It'd be like a hidden object picture here now. But that might be it. I'm sure we can just keep digging or whatever and testing, but it is a lovely machine. I still am very happy to have it. I am glad I managed to recap something for the first time in my life, and it didn't explode. It's still running. And yeah, I think it's the black and white pattern makes it to look like that, but it's running in black and white right now. So, but it's a fun machine to mess with, and there's so many games to explore on this platform. I keep saying platform, but vintage Mac gaming. There's tons of them, but conversely, I think a Quadra 610, like Ron mentioned earlier, which is not too expensive, there's a lot of them, is really good at playing these older games too with a newer version of Mac OS. So having one of these is, I don't know, that is neat. I have an SE30 and this, and that's plenty enough for me for the classic era of Macs. I've gotten flooded with Macs in the last couple of years. I wasn't planning on it, but between that, I just picked up a whole bunch. I seem to random Macs pop up more often, so yes, there should be a stream next week. I am hoping or planning that my current video I'm working on is going to be out in the next couple of days. And if it is, we will be streaming on that machine that is the topic of the video here. Most likely. Or I just do something random, we'll see. And then I'll just be out of town the weekend after that, but I will still be able to stream on Thursday, so. Everything Doppler. No, we tried playing in color. And it was horrible because we needed to play in black and white. It's a Mac classic. Anyway, thanks everyone for stopping by, and thanks so much for the generous donation that popped in earlier. That was extremely generous. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, broke the Mac. Look at the background now. It's sad and broken. But it's a fun one to mess with. There's so much to do with this one, and I do enjoy it, even though I'd probably play that double moral game forever to see if I can get the max score on it. I don't know if I could, but it's fun. Anyway, thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out tonight, and I will see everyone hopefully next week at the stream next Thursday. So have a good retro weekend and a good week, and I'll see you then, and in Discord. Good night. Mac away.